happened. Buffalo Bills. Just happened. Buffalo Bills. Damar Hamlin, former Pittsburgh Panther, seemingly falls out, passes out on the football field. You see right here, number 3 for the Buffalo Bills, uh, goes to make the tackle during Monday Night Football, stands up and passes out, man. Prayers out to him, man. CPR was administered. We're gonna talk about it, man. We're gonna get into it 1 second, but we had to talk about this because this was current going on right now. So prayers. Just happened. Buffalo Bills. Damar Hamlin, former Pittsburgh Panther, seemingly falls out, passes out on the football field. You see right here, number 3 for the Buffalo Bills, uh, goes to make the tackle during Monday Night Football, stands up and passes out, man. Prayers out to him, man. CPR was administered. We're gonna talk about it, man. We're gonna get into it 1 second, but just happened. Buffalo Bills. Damar Hamlin, former Pittsburgh Panther, seemingly falls out, passes out on the football field. You see right here, number 3 for the Buffalo Bills, uh, goes to make the tackle during Monday Night Football, stands up and passes out, man. Prayers out to him, man. CPR was administered. We're gonna talk about it, man. We're gonna get into it 1 second, but we had to talk about this because this was current going on right now. So prayers up to him, man. We'll give you updates on it. Bills. Damar Hamlin, former Pittsburgh Panther, seemingly falls out, passes out on the football field. You see right here, number 3 for the Buffalo Bills, uh, goes to make the tackle during Monday Night Football, stands up and passes out, man. Prayers out to him, man. CPR was administered. We're gonna talk about it, man. We're gonna get into it 1 second, but we had to talk about this because this was current going on right now. So prayers up to him, man. We'll give you updates on it. All right, what's going on, man? My name D. About to talk about everything from Bitcoin, the ball. Y'all just saw that. Bills, Damar Hamlin. That was not former Pittsburgh Panther. This was not what we were coming here to talk about tonight. It was not. But this happened on Monday Night Football. Number 3 for the Buffalo Bills. We're going to put Twitter to use. Make the tackle during Monday Night Football. Stands up and passes. Saying this young man has been incubated and is in critical condition. CPR was administered. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get into Damar Hamlin 1 second, but we had to talk about this because this was current going on right now. So prayers up to him, man. We'll give you updates. Wow. KB, you there, bro? I guess if I don't have on my headphones, I can't hear him. Listen, man. Well, let's start the show first, man. KB, you in here, KB? Okay, KB just got kicked out. KB get kicked out every show. So listen, I'm dying right now. 786-459-9499. You want to get down with ILD squad? See if we get KB back in here. KB, you there, bro?
Yeah, I'm here, bro.
What's going on, man? Did you on top of what was going on right here?
Not until you alerted me, and right. I've been checking it out ever since.
Saying he's in critical. I'm reading it saying Damar Hamlin has been incubated and is currently listed in critical condition. See, this is the part about football that we never it's like that. It's just we don't ever want to talk about it. That it's a gladiator sport, bro. And that's why when you get kids, parents like Marvin Chapman, you ask them about, hey, what do you want for your son? And they know it's not promised. You know what I'm saying? It's not promised. They just, hey, I want my son to get a degree, man. I want my son to get something out of football. A lot of times dads and never wishing for the NFL because It's not it's a gladiator sport, bro. It's modern day gladiator sport. That's what it is. And when they try to take the emotion out of it and all of this stuff, I don't understand. Because that is what it is. Watching the play, I mean, it looked like somebody hit him in the chest. What's somebody in the comments saying? Collapsed lung. Yeah, it looked like somebody hit him in the chest. Coach Hayes in the comments talking about hit me up, street. I'm fully live. 5 minutes into it, he talking about hit me up, street. Shout out to light skinned dudes, man. We got a Coach Hayes video dropping. Me and Coach Hayes dropping for the football villains. If you want to join, hit the membership right there, bro. Hit join button. But yeah, a little bit on Hamlin. Let me see. Played for, I know he came from Pittsburgh Panthers. This is, wow. Did the game actually stop?
Yeah. I think we'll have to reschedule that one.
I have never seen that happen before.
Me neither. Which I'm glad, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad they got common sense in the heart, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never seen that happen before. So it has to be bad. I was watching Monday night when Joe Theismann, Martella ended Joe Theismann's career. That's probably one of the worst I saw. I don't know. If you might remember. Yeah, look at that. Postpone, ESPN, 7-3. I have never seen that before, bro.
That was the right thing to do. When they started, anytime you have to start administering CPR, yeah, that's the maximum level. The maximum level. You play through. I don't want to sound callous, but you could play a game if somebody's seriously injured. Like if somebody, you know, even through paralysis, you know, you take because you don't know what's going on necessarily, but you know somebody's alive. When they have to start administering CPR, you really don't know what just happened, and you don't know the outcome. So that would be you can't continue a game after that. If I had to guess though, if I had to guess just by looking, I'm not so sure if the tackle had anything to do with why he collapsed. That seemed like something else was going on inside his body.
Right. The tackle didn't look vicious. Hey, Hayes, I got you. Hey, the tackle didn't look vicious at all. He seemed coherent. He seemed fine after the play. I don't know what the tube gonna do with these plays. But I made a version of the video. We'll play it every now and then, but yeah. It's definitely a first. I've never seen a game stop. If you're just walking in here, man, Damar Hamlin, I'm not sure. Let me see.
Yeah, that looks like man, like when you collapse. I mean, that could be a number of things. It could be something that's not even life threatening. But things like that usually, you know, some kind of heart condition or you know things like that. So it could be a number of things. You won't know anything until they start to update. But they saying he's in critical condition. It's just like, well, damn, what the hell? Because he's ready to celebrate. He got up. See it. He looked like he's ready to celebrate, and he just kind of just. But that could be anything. That could be fainting. That can be dizzy. That could be a lot of things. You know.
It could. You remember Hank Gathers? I don't know how old y'all are, but y'all remember Hank Gathers? Loyola Marymount doing the sweets, doing the tournament 64 March Madness, goes to the free throw line and collapses. He was the best player on the team. Loyola Marymount was leading the nation in scoring, and Hank Gathers collapses and dies on the court. Well, it was in the regular season, I think, and Bo Kimball, his homeboy, dedicated the rest of the season and shot all his free throws with his left hands and actually was making them. So I remember in high school we had a young boy collapse on the football field. So it happens. It happens. You know what I'm saying? It's not
Mm-hmm.
always right. It's not always but football is a
Yeah,
gladiator sport, bro. It
it
is,
is.
and the things they don't talk about, like they don't talk about what they go through. Um, they don't talk about what they go through. To get ready to play. Like they don't talk about that. They
Mm-hmm.
don't talk about that often. Um,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
The things you may be putting in your system for you can go out there and play. Nothing
right,
illegal,
right.
but
Mm-hmm.
depending on what they are prescribing you, what you may be shooting up. I had the one thing I'm gonna say is yeah, like some of those things. The first thing we think about is heart, but he didn't reach for his heart, which is that don't mean nothing, but that makes me feel better. You know what I'm saying? That he didn't like reach for his heart and go down or nothing like that. But I will say this: I remember when I first got out of school, and my knee had been going out since probably like 10th grade, and it's just I didn't know anything about a lot of sports injuries or whatever, but I had like really really bad tendonitis. So when I was in Georgia, I was still trying to go to school. I was trying to go to college and things. And so I go to my doctors and I'm telling her these things. So she says, try, it was Bextra. She gave me Bextra. It was a new drug on the market, something they was trying
Mm-hmm.
to get around, especially the football players and athletes who have it. It was a, anti-inflammatory. So I took it and, it helped. It worked. And the thing was, she told me, she's like, just never take it on an empty stomach. Just, make sure you're always full, whatever, whatever. Right? So I would take it, periodically. But me not being a pill person, I was trying not to take it all the time. But also, I was trying to save it. So come maybe a year later, like they took it off the market, like just that quick. But I still had mine, and so I was back home, and I'd be going to hoop and all that kind of stuff, and I would need it. And man, I just remember standing on the court one day, and I just felt a sharp pain shoot through my stomach. I was like, what the heck is
Mm-hmm.
that? And I was just like, it was weird. And then maybe like a week or two later, I'm at the Dillard NBA game. I'm standing up in the stands, and the same thing happened, and I kind of blacked out for a second, but I didn't fall. I caught myself. So then I go to the doctor, and that's what she said. She was like, she asked me what I had been taking, what I was on, what I. She's like, yeah, those anti-inflammatories will do it to you, and she was just telling me what probably I to say these are the type of things that they have to deal with. And they are taking anti-inflammatories all the time. They get shot up with Toradol and all these type of things. So what Street is saying, this is a gladiator sport, and we don't talk about that side of it. What you have to do just to get out
No.
there and play, sometimes, be it physically or mentally, and it can take a toll. So we are just talking. I'm not saying any of that happened, but
Right.
it's that yeah, man. It's a rough life playing football, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Matey, what's going on, bro?
Yeah, man. Thoughts and prayers to Damar and his family. It's a tough game that they play, that we've played. For a lot of people, it's very easy to kind of forget that. It seemed like the crowd was struggling with understanding the magnitude of what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
They were kind of like anticipating the game coming back on, but when you've been in a situation where you get a teammate hurt, just hurt, not even like something like as serious as this, just hurt,
Mm-hmm.
there literally comes a point where, as a teammate and as someone who's been through the trenches, you grinded, you've been through workouts, training, everything with these people. It's like, man, I'm not trying to go back on this damn field for these people. And so it was a little bit unnerving to see all those people kind of just sitting around, like waiting for the game to resume. Like, one of the ones that hit me the hardest, obviously, because he's Canes alum, is watching Jaquan Johnson, like being a fellow safety and being in that room, and I'm sure being somewhat relatively close with Damar. Yeah, it seemed to me like he was pretty distraught, along with Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs too, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, man, we just gotta remember that, as fans, right? We always talk about King stuff, and you always get wrapped up in the King stuff, and sometimes it's easy to take away from the life and the person that's wearing that uniform, that's playing for a team that you love or you support. Take this moment. This is a great moment to reflect. For those who know me closely, I probably didn't said it on stream before. I was personally protesting the NFL for other reasons, obviously, so I wasn't even watching that closely. But when I started seeing it kind of in the villains chat on GroupMe, I kind of like tuned in to see what the deal was, and yeah, through the replays on Twitter, I was seeing that was a pretty. And for those who don't know, like for me, I'm not only CPR certified, like I'm a CPR instructor. I was for a long time. And so when I heard CPR being administered, it's like, oh, that means his heart stopped. That means blood ain't getting to certain organs and other parts of his body that need to keep his body functioning. So, and they said he was down for like 10 minutes administering CPR. From my time teaching CPR, after 5 to 8, we ain't doctors, but we usually trending towards pronounce someone dead. So from the reports, it sounds as if he's not breathing on his own, but he is attempting to. But he is just in critical condition, which is not great, but it's better than the obvious other result. So once again, thoughts and prayers. I hope he's okay. Gets through it, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. We appreciate
Good job, Eddie.
Yeah, we appreciate what you gave there, because everybody's not CPR certified and may not know. The one thing I will say, Mehdi, is hopefully, they described it as, let's say like for the last 9 minutes, they've been giving him CPR. It's the way they described it. Hopefully they weren't administering it for 9 minutes. Just hopefully it was just, they started 9 minutes ago and that's just how the scene was going. You know what I mean? Because like you say, after 5 to 8 minutes, you're about to call it, or you're thinking about brain damage or something. So let's just hope that that whole scene was just 9 to 10 minutes long, and they weren't trying to administer for 9 to 10 minutes. I'm praying to God. So
yeah, Louis Don Prince on a great thing too. Typically, when we teach CPR, we tell somebody we tell people, we point to people and give them direction, like, hey, you go do this. You call 911. You go get the AED. The AED is a defibrillator that's utilized to basically electroshock the heart. So as these pads that you will put on the front of the chest and the back, and you utilize that to basically send a jolt of electricity through the heart to get it back pumping while you're doing your CPR. When you do your CPR leading up to it, and then you put the defibrillator on, and then that works normally. So I'm sure that's the extent they went to, but yeah, when someone's down for that long, it's usually not good. Your organs can only go so long without getting oxygen and blood pumped to them, and then they start shutting down. So kind of what Kyle just alluded to.
Working as a CEO, I once watched an officer give CPR for 30, 45 minutes because there's corrections during the jail, and ambulance has to get there. So you have to give CPR until they get there and take over. With the shock, the defibrillator. One thing that I learned about the defibrillator is that if there's no heartbeat, you don't shock the body. If I'm remembering this correctly, and that surprised me, because I always thought that thing shocked the heart to start again, and it doesn't. Like, it'll tell you, hey, keep administering CPR. There's no heartbeat.
Yeah.
Right. It actually tells you that.
Yeah, it'll shock first, and then it's supposed to work. If it don't, that's when you don't hit the button again, because it's got to charge up again, and then you'll start administering CPR again to try to get it going. At that point, you should usually switch people out, because you'll get exhausted doing that for a long time and giving your rescue breaths. So
I mean, I was like I said, if y'all just getting here, Damar Hamlin, Buffalo Bill player collapses on the field. Um, and right away they start administering CPR. They say he's been incubated in the critical condition. Game stopped, game postponed. I'm sure Buffalo Bills is fighting. Are they out of playoffs? They fighting for playoff spot?
Yeah, both of them were fighting for the first round bye. So I think the winner would clinch the AFC.
Right.
I think something like that. The winner would clinch the AFC and get a first round bye because the
And I
records
actually
are so
heard,
close.
yeah,
Right.
I actually heard people saying it's so late in the season they don't know if they'll stop the game, yada yada yada. But
Yeah, that was Skip Bayless moronic ass.
but when you start thinking about it, it's like, bro, listen, something's bigger than it's the NFL. Y'all can reschedule the game anytime y'all want. Yeah, somebody's
Exactly.
like, his family's watching. That's one of the worst things. We sat down with a parent here recently, and they were saying that some of the worst times is when your kid is on the road, he goes down, and he goes back in the locker room, and you hoping somebody call you because you don't know what's going on. It ain't like he got a cell phone in his pad. He's gonna text you on the way to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So his family's watching, and you don't know if they're there or not. That's just a tough situation, bro.
I don't know if you saw this in the comment street, but I know Coach Hayes is trying to come up. That was a while ago. He said send him the link. So.
Oh, I saw him. I saw him. Yeah, I did. I saw him in the comment section. So, what is it? Safety or cornerback?
Oh, he's a safety.
Safety. The plan was to come on here and talk about, man, should players lose their rankings when they go to these Army All-Americans and All-Star Under Armour All-Star games? Like, should they lose their rankings or be dropped in the rankings when they're supposed to be out there just having fun? Basically, that's what I was going to talk about.
Yeah, I know it's kind of changed tunes a little bit.
Yeah, getting ready for the show. Then this happens. I'm looking in the group because all the information is in the private group. Tim Haggard is like, man, did we just witness? It had just happened too. Like, did we just witness? I was like, what?
I don't watch the program, so I didn't know what was going on until you sent what you sent, and I'm like, well, we got a guest tonight. We finna interview this dude. Like, so I go to Google and I put his name in, and I'm like, oh wow. So then I have to go back and catch up and stuff. I'm like you say, this is never seen anything like this, man.
And I think it's actually I think it's a sign to all of us that sometimes we got to take the fanatic out and put the human back in, because a lot of times we focus and we so hyper focused on the game. And mind you, I was ready to come on here too and talk about a lot of like some great bowl games today, like a lot of good stuff happening. We an upset, you know what I'm saying, with Tulane upsetting USC, probably their biggest win in program history. But yeah, this is sometimes what needs to happen, as unfortunate as it may seem. You gotta kind of pull back a little bit, pull your lens back, and remember that these are people, young men and women, and women too in other sports, but young men who are trying to make a lifestyle for themselves, trying to be successful, trying to impress their parents and their families, and sometimes we get so emotionally invested in the game that we kind of lose focus on the people and playing that game and what they got going on. I don't know if he has kids or anything like that, but we know his mom was was in the stadium. We know she was, obviously there, seeing all this in real time. So like I said, man, thoughts and prayers with all of them, because that's one of them things that you never, as a parent, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got kids, but I can only imagine, as a parent, you like kind of like what Street said, you don't want to see your kid get hurt and then you trying to reach out to them, they not reaching out to you. The school and the coaching staff is working with the ambulance, making sure that you get the care you need, and blowing up their phone. I can only imagine. You know what I'm saying? I've had devastating stuff happen. Family members had devastating stuff happen to airmen, but never anything like that. So
No, those are great points. Before we segue into something else, we have to take we got to try a little bit to take the fanatic, you know what I'm saying, out of the word fan, or however you want to say it. The same way we want those guys to, take the business part out of it. These are people, so we have to think about that when we look at these athletes, and especially our young guys in college, and our entertainers. We just lost Gangsta Boo yesterday. Rest in
yes,
peace. Um, these are people. We always got to kind of remember that. And what Mehdi said is so poignant, because somebody just pointed out. I'm looking at the comment section, and somebody said that they gave both teams 5 minutes to reset their teams and get back. I'm like, what? And both coaches refused. And I'm just like, now if that blows up, it's gonna be deservedly so. And I hope it does, because sometimes things like that, not because I want anybody in trouble, but sometimes things like that need to happen so we can start to make things change, and
Right.
we can, it's that's crazy to me.
You said repeat it again. What did they say?
yeah. Davis
They
Hall
said,
says a source on Twitter says the NFL gave both teams 5 minutes to restart the game, but both the coaches refused.
Right. The coaches had to refuse that.
yeah,
Come on, NFL.
all right. And somebody said it was
It's like it's
confirmed.
like
Somebody underneath said it.
it's like man, someone is on the verge of death, and as a business, you more focused on. It's like, hey, y'all got other safeties out there, right? Are y'all good? Go
Right.
ahead, hurry up. What are we talking about, man? Like, we talking about human life in a game on national TV. That might be the most, for some people, depending on how their lifestyle go, that might be the most traumatic thing that they ever see.
Right.
Period. Right?
Hmm.
Especially if a person, God forbid, but something
Kids,
more grim starts happening.
kids are
Right?
there. Kids, Mehdi, not to cut you off, but just to further your point, there was kids out there in that audience, bro. Like, come on, man.
And then you may tell me like the NFL is so focused on. I don't want to go into a rant about capitalistic society, but it seems like sometimes, man, like we often put the business before the we put the carriage before the horse, man.
Right.
Honestly, like
I'm I'm
we
I'm sure their first thought is how to. Yeah, I'm sure their first thought is two things. You know what I'm saying? Oh boy, this will be the story for tomorrow, and and that crosses their mind. You know what I'm saying? Which it shouldn't. And in that moment, it's like, well, they've never seen it happen before either. You feel me?
you got all these league officials getting paid all this money, and no one stopped to think like, hey, man, like let's ask this question, right? Hypothetically, Roger Goodell got a nephew on Jackson State. If he going to make a
Mm-hmm.
special team tackle and he gets hit a certain way and his heart stops, you think Roger Goodell would care about if the Celebration Bowl continued?
Nope.
Are we serious right now? Why did it take the coaches refusing, not the owner, not the GM, not why did it take the coaches saying we're not going the hell back out there? You stupid. For them to be like, no, what you're right. We can look in postpone. Like that's
Hmm.
we got to be better, man. It's 2023. To see it's 2 days into the new year, man, and I'm already sitting here baffled about how disappointing humanity can be. Like,
Right.
I see the Skip Bayless quote. And sometimes it's best to just be quiet. You don't have an answer for what's going on in your head. Just be quiet.
Right. We're going to get into that 1 second. We're going to get right into that. 1 second. We're going to get into that because, the best thing we just got to stand up. Somebody said, man, hey, listen, they are killing Skip Bayless on Twitter right now, bro.
Street, honestly.
Like calling for his head. Like, listen, finally.
You know what time it is, Matty.
No,
listen, finally. They are calling for his head.
No, honestly, I don't think we need the intro music tonight, man. Just
Know what that time it is, man. What's going on, bro? My guy, Coach Hayes, man. I was contemplating, dog. Like, this man, do I do this tonight, man? But listen, bro. It's a tribute to you, man. So every time you come, that's gonna go down like that, dog.
I appreciate it. How y'all doing, fellas?
Appreciate it, dog. Y'all should see him blushing in the background. He get up here, he act like he bashful, and he act like, I don't know why he does this. Soon as he come on, he be in the background like this.
Nah, I'll be laughing because dog, it's so long. It's so long, and the funny thing, I don't even know what it means. Like I'll be laughing because I'm like, am I Luke Longley? Am I Ron Harper? Am I Michael Jordan?
You Michael Jordan, dog. Hey,
Jordan, hey, what you talking about, man?
You look like Scottie Pippen, but you Michael Jordan, dog. Hey, dog.
I could be Ron
Harper. Before or after he got hurt, Coach?
Nah, before.
Before.
Nah, man, but this that's funny, man. I've been hitting you up for the longest, man. This dude here, boy. We got to get Street I fell down alert button or something, man. This dude here, boy.
Grinding, dog, like Mario. I be grinding. So Skip Bayless, no doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how? This late in the season. See, this is what I read. When I glanced at a game of this magnitude is crucial. The regular season outcome, which certainly seems so irrelevant. He tweeted this out to everybody. People must forget sometimes when you hit the send button on Twitter, it goes to the world. They must forget that. He tweeted this out.
Yeah, you know what? Skip Bayless, one time for you. Slap his face, man.
Do it again, dog.
You know what, man? Just straight one. You know what? The thing about Ron Harper, Lord have mercy. The thing about Skip Bayless is he get away with so much. They're not gonna fire him. That's not gonna happen.
Right?
You think so?
Nah, they gonna fire him.
No.
Y'all gotta understand something. I don't mean to cut you off, Coach, but
no, you good. You good.
Look at the network that owns his platform. That's all you really need to know. Look at the network that owns his platform. They
look at the network that owns his platform.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they thrive off sensationalism and pushing the bounds of the things that they say on television, right? Look at the parent company of Fox Sports. So at the end of the day, yeah, Coach Hayes do got a point. Like,
no, he's not.
Fire him.
No, they're not gonna fire. They're not going. I would be highly surprised if they even make him apologize. I think the only way he has to apologize, unfortunately, God willing, this doesn't happen. But if that young man passes away, he'll apologize. Other than that, he won't apologize. Dog, he hasn't apologized for anything he said to anybody.
he backtracked already, Hayes. He backtracked.
Yeah, no, but backtracking. No. Backtracking and apologizing, because when it comes to us, we have to say the words, I apologize or I am sorry. Those phrases have to come out our mouth. Not the fact that that's not what I meant. That's not what my intent was. We have to say, I apologize. And then comes a litany of criteria that we have to do in order to make it right. And that's the difference.
And that was
exactly. Jalen Rose apologized live, didn't he?
Live. Yeah. Yeah, and he didn't even apologize to Jalen Rose. He hasn't apologized to Chris Bosh. He didn't even apologize. He has not even apologized to Shannon Sharp.
Let's see. One second. Let's see what Ryan Clark said.
And I think sometimes we use those things so much, we forget that part of living this dream is putting your life at risk. And tonight, we got to see a side of football that is extremely ugly, a side of football that no one ever wants to see or never wants to admit exists.
Kind of like what I just talked about, huh?
And this isn't about a football player, right? This is about a human. This is about a brother. This is about a son. This is about a friend. This is someone who is loved by so many that you have to watch go through this. I dealt with this before, and I watched my team. And now this team has to deal with that, and they have no answers. And so the next time, I think that we get upset at our favorite fantasy player, and we're saying he's worthless, and we're saying you get to make all this money, we should remember that these men are putting their lives on the line to live their dream. And tonight, Damar Hamlin's dream became a nightmare for not only himself, but his family and his entire team.
And Travis Johnson said, "Thank you, brother. I hope jackass like real Skip Bayless learns from you." Everybody going off on the ball memory, but this is what Skip Bayless said, Hayes. Nothing is more important than a young man's health. That was the point of my last tweet. I'm sorry if that was misunderstood, but his health is all that matters. Again, everything else is irrelevant. I pray for him, and we'll continue. Let me read the comment. Jesus, you emotional guys, simmer down now. I was just the spaces, so I just mute everybody. Now, but Rachel said, I pray for him. We'll continue to, but it's too late, Skip. Des Bryant said, is it a block button to block everybody who's trying to defend Skip Bayless? Yeah, it got bad for on Twitter, dog.
But Street, you know why we need to be emotional? Because they be emotional when somebody says something. They get so emotional about it that they want to ban you and cancel you and take all of your livelihood away. They get so emotional about it. They don't want you to earn no more money. They get so emotional about it. They're going to make you pay $500, basically take a knee and kiss the ring. That is not an apology because you use the words as the context. I'm sorry that it was misunderstood. He's not saying I'm sorry to the family for what I said.
No.
And that
family deserves an apology.
And to add further, this is exactly the reason and my basis for why I was boycotting the NFL anyway. Because once again, no one's talking about it, but the whole Jerry Jones thing being pictured at that protest for integration at his high school when he was 13. Everybody just seemed to turn a blind eye to it. But that Kyrie energy and that Kanye energy was way different. They had a list of demands. They met with the Jewish leaders and said, hey, for you to get back on the court, Kyrie, we need you to do all this. And Nike still said, we're not taking you back. But Skip Bayless, as a journalist, can come out
as a journalist.
Yeah, as
who's
a journalist,
trained.
to
And
come out and
So,
say,
so check me out. So check me out. Okay, I'm gonna run this down for y'all. All right, because I'm here for us to talk about it. Right. This was Skip Bayless' previous tweets before he said any of that. Right. Not exactly sure what just happened. Damar Hamlin. Not sure what just happened to Damar Hamlin. Players on both teams are shaking. Ambulance out on the field. CPR administered. Can't remember playing being stopped for this length of time. Just said a prayer for him and his family. That was before all the other tweets. I've seen so many horrific injuries suffered on football fields, yet never have I seen a reaction like this. In every other situation I witnessed or covered, the game always went on fairly quickly. The attitude was, hey, that's football for these players. This was different. That's what he said first.
But that right there,
and then he went into the BS. Then he went into the BS text. Yeah.
But Street, to your point, that right there should set off an alarm that says, "Wait a minute, if it's that bad,
stop
right?
tweeting, right?
If it's that bad, because we see a broken leg, we even
Mm-hmm.
see paralysis, right? But people are moving; they throw a thumb up. Hey, that is part of the game. When it got that bad, that ain't even you're not unconscious for 8-9 minutes. You like when you get knocked out. You get knocked out. They got the smell of salt. These people know what knockouts are. They wake you up. You never even seen a boxer knocked out for over a minute. He ain't just been asleep. They wake him up. He might be dazed for 10, 15 minutes, but he's up. That means that dude was not moving when you saw that kind of response by all people. And that's the insensitivity that they want us to have for their plight, but yet you don't want to have for our plight. So all I'm saying to Skip Bayless is, I don't want to hear that go long. So, I'm sorry you used the word, but not in the correct context. And he doesn't apologize, and he's not made to apologize for anything that he says or does to anybody in any form or fashion for years.
Yeah, because
all the way back to T. Suggs.
Yep, because he's always operated off the controversial takes that he makes. And how he bitches and whines on the air, and that equals ratings. You know what I'm saying? And at some point, there was a while ago where he should have been held accountable, and it just never happened. So it's kind of just like, just let him say what he wants to say. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
I just want to say this.
Right? I ain't mean to interject, Maddie. 1 second, Rich. After what I just read, listening to him talk about it, even before he said the BS, right? It's almost like he was he was talking about cartoons or something, like a, you know what I'm saying, like a video game. Something serious is happening, bro. Like, pay attention.
A product
he was talking about it so coy. You know what I'm saying? And then he went to go say the BS. I don't know. If we had to take a vote, I think he will be apologizing tomorrow. But go ahead, Rich.
I just want to say, just point out some context. So sometimes we throw the words out, that's racist, right? And once again, this is Footballville, so you're gonna get everything from Bitcoin to ball here. So I'm just gonna give you some context on mirrors on how to view certain things. So when you have Kanye and Kyrie, their livelihood is being threatened because of something that they said, even though in our Constitution we have freedom of speech. And then you see what happened with Skip. We saw what happened with Adam Schefter. Schefter apologized. We even saw what Jalen Rose had to do, where he had to basically do a quick take and apologize. And once again, it was because Jalen Rose was going to have his water turned off. His livelihood, the way that he feeds his children, was going to be taken away. What we don't, because we're not close to it anymore, we live in a post-racial society, I guess. We don't understand what the original definition of racism was. If Skip can go around and say something that's egregious to everybody, because we see it in the Twitter sphere right now, how much people are really going after him, and for him to not have a a set of demands that he has to meet. And but on the other side of that, and this is what we're all saying, for Jalen to be almost canceled, for Kanye, Kyrie to be told that they have a manifesto that they have to complete before they'll ever make money again in this United States. That is the definition of racism, where I could take your whole livelihood and control it. I can cut your water off anytime I want to. So next time when you see when you use that word, that's racist, I want you to remember the context that you're using it in. So if I could take your livelihood, that's when you can be called a racist. But if I cannot take your livelihood, then there's no way you could call somebody who can't take your livelihood a racist. So I just wanted to point that out for the record. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Skip Bayless going forward, because nothing's going to, you're right, because that young man who collapsed has a family, right? And whether they played the game or not, whether they continue to resume the game or not, first and foremost, it's almost inhumane to tell these men who are all out there trying to feed their family. Remember, when you do it at that level, you're doing it because you're trying to feed your family, right? We all know what that's about as men. And to have them go out there and just witness one of their brothers collapse and be like, "Yo, let's keep the show rolling." I don't know. I'm glad we are where we are in culture today, and but I just wanted to take it back and give context to that word racism and how to define it, and how this kind of plays a role with what happens with Skip versus some of his counterparts like Jalen Rose. And I'm done. I don't want to be long-winded.
You good, bro. You say what you need to say.
Too late for that. you missed a long-winded, big dog. That's why I had you on here, dog, because you can express things the way I can't, Medi can't, Kyle can't. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do, big homie.
Yeah.
Good job, bro.
Yeah, but and I appreciate that, Rich, like you said, just to lay it out. And this is a thing that, but here's the problem. Skip don't have the power to turn nobody lights off. Right? He's not the head of NBC, Fox, Paramount, or whatever, but yet he's allowed to do and continuously do whatever he chooses, and they're on the same playing field. They are counterparts. You understand? They are.
I don't know if that's true, Coach.
No,
Coach, I'm not so sure if it's true. No. Let me. I mean, not to cut you off, but let me just say this real quick. There was an article about this a while ago, and they were talking about how much power Skip Bayless has at ESPN. So these guys they're not his counterparts. Skip has a lot of control over there. This was a talk of years ago. He has a lot of control at ESPN. I just wanted to throw that out there.
I agree, but what I'm saying is, I totally agree with that. But I'm saying he has a boss who literally controls. He may influence who flips the off switch, but he ultimately doesn't have the off switch flip, the power. What I mean is, you look at Skip, and I'm actually hot with Shannon Sharp about this. That nobody makes this dude apologize for the bull crap. Like, I know we're talking about Hamlin has family, and yes, he does. But so does Chris Bosh. When Jalen Rose brought that out and said, this man got family, bro. And you calling him Bosh Spice and these type of things. But he continuously does what he does, says what he wants to say. Nobody holds him accountable. But guess what? I'm going to flip it back on us. That's our fault because we still watch it.
Maybe he been checked
overall.
I'm sure somebody done checked him by now. Who went up against him one-on-one?
Everybody.
It was Jalen, right?
Jalen got him.
Jalen, everybody. Bro, even when the boxing reporters used to go against Floyd Mayweather and say egregious stuff, they never have to apologize for the foolishness that they say, bro.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That they have an opportunity to say what they choose. Just because you go head to head That don't mean you won because I maybe out-talked you or I made you look stupid. To us, they don't care about that. The ultimate, get on the knee and kiss the ring. What is that? Saying, I apologize, because they know we're going to come out first. They've done it to Kevin Hart when the whole Oscars thing. Bro, I'm not apologizing. Let me tell you something. I'm not apologizing. I'm not going to apologize. It was 10 years ago. Blah, blah, blah. And guess what he did?
Apologize.
I'm sorry. Nick Cannon. No, I'm not apologizing. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody apologizes.
Every time.
Everybody except Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley said some wild stuff.
So Barkley said what they said. That's why
they got a special
place.
Yeah,
Barkley
kind of lives in a space where, Barkley done punched people in the face. Barkley done did a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but he also
lives in a space of.
But he lives on their side of the fence. If
exactly.
I hope that makes sense. That makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
The double
so
standard.
Like him calling Kyrie an idiot without even going and reading reading the book seeing the whatchamacallit. He didn't have to apologize for that, but he said what they wanted to say anyway, or what they were already saying. He's not going to be held accountable for that. Most of his things are the same things that they want to say anyway.
Think about it. Here's a prime example. As long as you say what they want you to say, you're cool. I know people talk about Kanye. Kanye had that interview, right? Everybody loving Kanye. He's a free. They did a whole monologue about Fox News. He's a free thinker. Look at him. He's not tied down. And the next day he came out and said, I'm going DEF CON. And what did he have to do? They made him apologize for saying he going DEF CON. But when he was saying all the other stuff about George Floyd, it wasn't real. Harriet Tubman wasn't this. Rosa Parks had to sit on the
slavery was a choice.
He did not have to apologize.
Nothing.
But as soon as that boy say, "Oh, I'm finna go DEF CON," what happened? That boy lost. That boy ain't a billionaire no more. As Adidas. Soon as he said that, guess what? See, those are the things I'm saying. So I don't like Skip anyway. I just think he's corny. I think, I agree with everything you're saying. He starts every segment like that after Skip and he called himself getting mad. He hit the table like this. Yeah. Cornball ass. And I'm mad at Shannon because he talked about it on his podcast, but he wouldn't talk about it on the platform where it happened.
Once again, but you said it already. You said it. He's on that side of the fence. When he do his Club Shay Shay, a whole different thing. That's his own platform that he's built off of his popularity from that other platform. When he on there, you're gonna say things a certain way, you're gonna speak a certain way, you're not gonna bring up these topics because they understand. Like, and that's that's my biggest frustration with the NFL. Like, I get your livelihood.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't like when Shannon Sharp, but it perpetuates that bull crap in our neighborhood. And Antonio Brown said this. Shannon Sharp up there with a bottle of Hennessy and backwoods with a wave cap. You know what I'm saying? I understand we can look at that one way, but you're perpetuating the bull crap. You ain't got to apologize for that, Shannon, because that would. But let me tell you something, Skip.
I'm on them yakking them miles.
I'm on them yakking them miles, and I get it, right? But let them go in there and say, boy, these locks and bagels. Oh, hey, whoa.
Right.
They don't even make they don't even make Leor Cohen apologize. And in the same sentence, this dude talking about opioid, the worst thing ever happened. So Charlamagne asked him, so why would you sign a guy like that? I answered that already. I'll take talent over issues. I got a family to feed. I got a business to run.
Huh.
Come on, dog. I go get some cane. I go get some cane juice. I'm listening though, but go ahead, guy. I'll be getting hot. I'm hot.
I love when you say that. But now you make an excellent point. Like until we get to a point where I remember when I went down and I saw Street in person, we did an interview, man. We talked about this, me, him, and Twan, about the power that we hold and how if we actually took the time to really like make a stand. My pops always talks about this, and it's so huge. He says, the people who were during slavery times, during Jim Crow and segregation. Those people who were doing that stuff, they weren't doing that for themselves. They were doing it for us. They were doing it for the future. They were doing it for people that they knew. They do it for rooms that they knew they would never stand in. And until we learn how to understand that leverage and understand that, like, this can happen again. It's extremely rare, but now the NFL is aware. Oh, this can happen. A guy can die and collapse on our fields, and we got to deal with it. Until we understand that, and until as players we get leverage and say, hey, look, I'm not dealing with this. We just got hit. We just got hit to the head injury and CTE. And we hear guys like Sapp come on here and talk about it. It's like, dog, I'm crazy. Like, straight up. They go cut Aaron Hernandez open. They find, buddy has CTE. He was off it.
Yeah.
Not saying it's an excuse for anything that he did, but at the same time, these are the things that we are now becoming hip to, and this game been played for 150 years plus. So
look at Tua.
Exactly.
Look what happened to Tua. After that, there's no way you're gonna roll that man out the next week to go play.
But once again, when the focus becomes the business over the person, when it becomes, hey, we got a show to put on. You put your helmet on, you put your pads on, you put your cleats on, and go out there and put on the show. And we sit there and tie so much into not losing a paycheck or what our valuation is, and how we don't have that leverage. This is what happens. And until we become united and understand, like, hey, we have leverage. We ain't gotta go out there and do nothing. I think when I heard Twan talk about it, I was like, man, that was so huge. When the George Floyd thing happened and they were in the bubble, it's like we ain't going out there. And all they need to do is take a stand. And they would have had all the leverage that they needed to do to really make an effect change. And then LeBron went out there and they all just followed. It was like, well, there goes that leverage.
Twan said that real time when it was happening, and I didn't understand it. I get it now, but that takes a lot of courage, bro. Listen, we're not gonna make the night about Skip Bayless. I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna get back on Damar Hamlin because a lot of people checking in here, man. We got 242 in here. Once we get to 70% likes, we'll open up the chat again because I was busy. Somebody said it was a troll in the chat. Hey, I have mods in the chat though. So some of y'all are mods. Some of y'all have mods. Some of y'all are mods in the chat. Y'all can actually get people out of here. So once we get to 70%, we'll open it back up. Listen, at the end of the day, we can't sell BET, bro. We got to own something. Chill out. Until we start owning things, right? Until we start owning things, then we can make calls on things. The bottom line is you realize it's not equal. Certain people have the leverage and certain people have zero leverage. Period. And until we own something, we can't sell BET. Like when they come and say $2 million and I sell them football fields, we got to stop that. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop giving up the things we own so we can have control. But
you know who's gonna call you?
Who gonna call?
You know who's gonna call you that day and be like, "Street, bro, what you finna sell, bro? You tripping? You know, I'll be the first one on the line."
Gotta be the first one calling me. He gonna be calling me from work. I'm trying to get him out of work, and he gonna be saying, "Don't sell." Listen, we have to own something. Ownership. Them people have created. They set up the chessboard. They don't set the chessboard up to the point where they have all the leverage. You know what I'm saying? And it's just that. It's not fair. It's right there in our face. It's not fair. But like I said, we're not gonna make the night about this. I mean, Rich, you want to say something real fast, bro?
Yeah, two things. One, we don't just to point out how powerful media is. All of these guys that we see on the field, whether in any sport, football, we look at basketball, we look at politics, they have become more popular every single time there's a media outlet that can run their story, right? Even social media now, people who I could not even imagine what some of these folks would be doing with their life. They're popular now because of social media. Media is a very powerful thing. And the reason why we put up with stuff like this is because we don't necessarily own any parts of media. I don't know how much media we control as people of color. So that's something that has to be, really got to continue to reevaluate. But I also wanted to talk about a comment I saw from Marvin Bailey where he said, "Now it's a mission, but when Dion walked away, it was all business. That's hypocritical." And this is where same. I heard it from Dr. Umar. Umar was like, of course everybody loves Dion, right? Everybody loves Dion, of course. But how are you going to teach men to man up and continue to walk? You know what I'm saying? Walk into doors that they themselves will never cross into, but pave the way so that the ones behind them can. And that was the whole message that Umar was saying. It was like, wait a minute. I know you can go get the money over here from Colorado, but by staying in the HBCU level and then getting to the point where you're pulling people together and you're actually affecting the way that they think. I'm talking about from the SWAC all the way to the coaches on different teams, where they finally understand where they're lacking and then help them come up. I know that he did a lot in 3 years, but could you imagine if he was there for 12 years?
Yeah. Can't do it alone. So listen, man, Damar Hamlin was drafted in the 6th round of the NFL draft by Buffalo. He's one of those dudes in the locker room everybody love. If you're just getting in here and you didn't get to see it, NFL game was postponed tonight. Stopped. What quarter was it? Second? Third? NFL game was postponed, stopped, because Damar Hamlin collapsed and was administered CPR, taken off the field. I read that he was incubated and in critical condition. And they actually stopped the NFL game. I've never saw that happen in life. Prayers go out to him and his family. We're not sure. It was an egregious hit. Like we can run this one more time. Well, we could run it again. It was an egregious hit. So nobody's really sure what happened. I mean,
one thing I want to say, this may sound weird, but whatever happened, if it's not, if it wasn't related to the actual play, sometimes you have to be glad it happened where it happened, because he could have been sitting at home by himself in the tub. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad he's, out in public in a place, probably one of the best places to be. Live on TV, ambulances around and all kind of care was able to get to you, I guess, as fast as it could. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to you being home. And sometimes we have to look at small blessings like that, like if he pulls through, you know what I mean? So thankful he was here. You know what I'm saying? It reminds me of the story. I forgot the lineman that was on the Brandon Marshall's show. I Am Athlete, and it's kind of the same thing. If he hadn't been playing at that time, he ended up with like some kind of like rare cancer, all from like a scratch or something on his head that wouldn't heal, or a scab or something like that. And he was saying that he just luckily the season was going and this and that was going on, because otherwise he would have never found it. It would have never found out, and it would have been it would have been catastrophic for him. So luckily the brother was here when this happened. I know it may sound weird, but
you talking about Trent? Was it Trent Brown? Trent Williams?
Trent Williams, yeah.
It's funny, man, that you talk about these injuries, but there's something else that we haven't mentioned. I haven't heard y'all mention it yet. Coaching games, man, and you see injuries, man. We had actually a kid get hurt severe, man, and a lot of people are not going to talk about the young man that may as well as inflicted this injury, which is, I think, is T. Higgins, the receiver. He's going to have if depending on the outcome of this deal, but he may have some trauma to this deal himself, man, by thinking he's the one. Because I remember, like I said, in that game, I mean, the kid leg was in bad shape, bro. the kid who tackled him I'm talking not this incident, but at the game I was coaching, the kid that tackled him was so distraught, bro. He was in full tears. He was so mad that happened to another kid that I had to go over and talk to him like, hey, baby, it's not your fault. You did what you were supposed to do, man. I want you to, when this game started back, I want you to keep playing the same way you've been playing. I mean, he was a good player, but it wasn't his fault. It wasn't no dirty hit or anything like that. It just happened. And like you said, this wasn't a dirty hit. I mean, the guy was, fighting for yards or whatever, and it just happened, man. And it's just amazing how some of these injuries happen to a lot of these players. I remember talking to an orthopedic doctor one time. He said, you know how easy it is to break a bone? It just takes the right angle and the right amount of pressure. That's it. And a bone will snap, just that simple. But you can see a dude get launched in the thigh and he get up, no problem. I remember, I don't know, this was years ago. That guy from Alabama went up to catch a pass and he landed on his foot and it snapped right in the middle of his shin bone. It was the right angle, the right amount of pressure. And it's just that simple, man. So these things happen, unfortunately, bro. But I pray to God, I hope this young man is all right. I really do.
So listen, I want to try to move on, bro. See if we can talk about something else. Because the intention was to talk about what's going on at the Under Armour. And appreciate all y'all takes on that, man. I've made a whole nother video out of it and put that out, man. And about Skip Bayless crazy comments. What we were actually going to talk about was at the Under Armour game. I saw a question saying, will Cormani McClain end up being the number one cornerback after the game is over from what he's done this week in practice or whatever didn't do? Or will Bain, because Bain, like, he's killing everybody, you know what I'm saying? Killing everybody in these one-on-ones. Will he be, you know what I'm saying? Will he get boosted up? And my question is, like, should these after season, your high school career all basically over, should your rankings be boosted or taken down, or should that be going on at these all-star games where the kids have achieved and should be there having a nice time? What you think, Maddie? I'll start with Maddie and then we'll go from there.
I think ideally, yes, but I think the early signing period threw everything off. Because if you remember, these games were happening before. It was supposed to be in conjunction with, the later signing day. But when the December thing happened and they came up with this standard of 32 5-stars and stuff like that, it's one of those things now where it kind of takes away from the ability to properly rate, because now all we hearing is reports come out of camp. Oh, Rueben Bain out here and he beating all these linemen's asses.
Right.
If you a guy 24/7, you want to put your check on the line and say, hey, I was wrong about Rueben Bain, like the entire season, the last 2 seasons. Are you willing to do that? Probably not. So ideally, yes, in the old format, yeah, it would have made sense to go back and say, hey, maybe we gotta make some last minute shakeups, after this bowl game. Now we can go back and change things to, hey, this is your new number 1 recruit based off of this all-star game. This is your new number 2. But because of the early sign period and these guys already signed these, it don't make no sense to change them. So
right.
I would say it does make sense to change them because I know early signing period is the kind of the catalyst to why you rank players in the first place, prior to them signing. But I would say overall for those teams, it gets the score right. Like if Bain is a 5-star now, I want to see him be a 5-star because I want Miami to have 4 5-star players in this class, right? Because it's only deserving. I mean, now you get to see the stuff that we've been seeing since the beginning of Bain's junior season. So I like it. I like it for us. It shows that we know how to evaluate. I would say for the McClain thing, I think there's levels to it. I think if you're a top 10 player coming into that particular game, first and foremost, you have nothing else to prove. because you could ask 10 people who the top 10 should be out of those 10, and they're all going to give you a different ranking, right? So at that point, you're pulling hair. At that point, it's you're really not doing much. So for McClain, I don't think you can say, well, this corner's better. I mean, come on. We saw what's on tape. He's the number 3 player in the country in some rankings. He's a 5-star. He's been a 5-star since his junior year. Since I think since he's been first ranked. There's no reason for us to even have that discussion. But I think for Rueben Bain, who at one point was out of the top 100, like really being slept on, I think this platform matters, and I think that he should get everything coming to him. So if you want to make him a top 20 player in the country now, because of what you saw, top 30 player, I'm all for it because it's accurately so.
What you think, Hayes?
I don't know the stock term for this. You may know, Streeter. There are stock things that you can get into where you can only gain money but not lose any, right? I don't know what that's called. Where you can invest your money, you can only gain, but if it bottom falls out, you get the principal you put in. I think the same thing should happen in these quote unquote all-star games. If you go out there and ball uncontrollably, your stock can go up some. But if you don't, you are where you started. It isn't because it is an all-star game. There's no chemistry involved. I mean, what they practice for 2.5 days, maybe it's a fun environment. You understand what I'm saying? And it's really a bunch of one-on-ones that's happening. It's not a lot of scheme going on out there. It's a bunch of, because I've coached multiple all-star games. Bro, how am I going to reteach a kid when you've got coaches that had them 4 years and they just learning it? I'm going to teach them in 4 days.
Right.
So to my point is, there are 11 one-on-one matches going on out there on the football field. So I don't never think it should hurt your stock. It can only enhance your stock. And it only enhances it maybe by a little bit, unless you just go out there and just get stupid with it. Like Cormani go out there with 4 picks. You know what I mean? 2 of them back for touchdown, just making amazing plays, that kind of stuff. Because it is what it is. It is an all-star game. So that's how I look at it. Can't hurt you, can only help you.
You basically saying set a stop loss. Like in stocks, ILD squad investors die. You can actually set a stop loss. You can be like, hey, we're going to buy Apple because we think it's going to go up. But if that joker start going down, we only want to lose 2% and we out. 1% we out. 10% we out. Right. So you're saying basically setting a stop loss. I mean, no, I get it. Cal, what you think, Cal?
Man, I could go to either side because you can make a great argument for either one. But I'm gonna say no. Because it's like Coach Hayes just said, like you practicing for how many days and what y'all got on, y'all ain't going, full strength, full pads all the time. You might be padded up, but it might be, or y'all might just be doing shells or something. Like Luke say, how you judge the kids on shirts and panties. You know what I'm saying? and then like Coach say, you out there, you don't notice you can't teach the kids schematics. That's a big difference. Like if I'm a corner and I'm playing and I got 4, maybe 5 of the DBs, on the defense that we play, I'm probably gonna play my receivers a little bit different. So I'm gonna look a little different. But what if I'm in a scheme, like I've been in a scheme where we only had 3 DBs on the field? And what if they want me to do that? But now I don't know how to play without that help. So that's something I gotta learn. I can't learn that in 2 days. If I'm, you know what I mean? So it's an all-star game. All-star games are not serious. Now, if you could tell me these boys are going out, balls to the wall and playing hard, and it was over a month worth of drills and all this kind of stuff, then I can judge them. But it's 1 week, 1 weekend. Football is a game of any given Sunday. Somebody can have a bad day, a bad 2 days, whatever. So I can't do a stock up and down for an all-star game.
Mind you, the focus of a lot of these games was supposed to be on the young men committing during the game. That was kind of the cool part. You bring your family out, they go to the game, you commit. I don't think it was necessarily ever about, the severity, and typically they normally blowouts. Like every once in a while you might have a close game, but usually one team is significantly better than the other. They used to do it by divisions, and then I think the East Coast used to be smacking the West Coast asleep, and then they did the North and South in certain of the games. Now they kind of split it. For all the reports I'm hearing from the camp, the team that Cormani is the captain of, that got all of our commits on it, is miles ahead of the other team. I can't remember the two names. They got two funny little names. So I'm expecting this to be a blowout. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like I said, I just feel like, especially when it comes to, we as a fan base always talk about, oh, you're not a 5-star when you get on campus anymore. So when does that stop? When they actually physically on campus, or when they sign the national letter of intent and they're actually committed to or a signee for the school, and it's no longer a commitment, right? Because I think if we are looking at that objectively, yeah, it should become, you are no longer a 5-star, quote unquote. That was great in college, but how many 5 stars do we see flame out? 4 stars flame out. Miami is the poster child for that shit. So at what point do we start smacking his star label on the kid and say, hey, he signed in Miami, because you don't see, when you look at the stuff that, like, let's say inside the U, they don't put out there 4-star commit Rueben Bain. They put Miami signee Rueben Bain. It's national letter of intent. He's a Hurricane, right? And barring some legal ramifications that we just don't understand, we don't see him really flipping on that. So he's locked in, right? Are we still sitting here chasing and saying we want to see him be a 5-star? I'm expecting him to go out there and dominate. That's what I'm expecting. And I'm expecting him to show why I feel that 23-6, or I changed it to 22-5, is such a shaky service that I don't trust in. And I don't trust their evaluations. You know what I'm saying?
22-5. It took me a second, Maddie. I'm like, okay, I got you. I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, golly. More like 7-11 instead of 24/7.
What about you, Street? You've been around this for a long time, brother.
No, bro. I've been to that Under Armour thing numerous times, and before it was very festive. It kind of died down a little bit. We talked about this the other day when I interviewed Sam Bruce, and he had the shield, and it was they were putting out some groundbreaking equipment, man, the uniforms and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel though it's so the pageantry of it. I mean, I feel it's 60 of the top players in the nation. And I just feel like that should be a time where they're there to compete a little bit, but have fun. Like, you shouldn't be coming up here like worried about, man, if my shoulder ain't healed, I'm trying to go to school in January, I got to get my shoulder right. I shouldn't be worried about Andrew Evans and somebody gonna drop my stock. I don't think that's what that time is for. I can see the other camps throughout their careers that they go to, but the high school career is over. I mean, their body of work is already on huddle. Hayes finna cut it up and make a WRE. You know what I'm saying? It's over. It's done. It's done.
I'm in the lab right now. I'm doing that. I'm editing right now.
Right. So yeah, man, I think that should be a week where they just have fun. But it was good to see Bain killing kids out there, bro. And that was fun to watch. I find that video. It's in the group me somewhere and put it up and throw that video up.
I mean, it's almost too street. It's almost like, remember when Sean Taylor blasted the punter in the Pro Bowl? As good as a hitter was, like, hold up, golly, Sean. Like, wait a minute. This is an exhibition match. Like, this is an exhibition, dog. I'm just being honest, right? It's an exhibition. It's for fun. It's like, the winner get 42,000, the loser get 23,000 or something. It's for fun. This right here is just a way to kind of showcase some of the kids who may make a big play, and they kind of their last hurrah, and put them all in one place. It's kind of like the Pro Bowl of high school. in that sense. So if you want to gauge a guy's status on that, like I said, if you want to, and to me, I'm not saying they should have significant changes in their star ranking if they do well, but if a guy is literally like 0.2 of a point away from being a 4-star or 5-star or whatever, make that change. That's all I'm saying. But again, that's not my ranking, man. I don't know why I'm always trying to prove them wrong about their system. Let me go over here and prove myself right about my system.
You know what's the funny thing what Mehdi said, how we struck out on 5 stars, right? Think about the system, right? And the system is imperfect. It's not. But think about it. Andrew Ivins came on the show and said they're projecting to the NFL. Those 32 5 stars are supposed to be NFL players, right?
That's crazy. Mm-hmm.
How we jack that up? How we get one of the top 32 players in the nation
and can't develop them?
Can't develop them.
Yeah,
and
that's
jack
the part
that up.
kills me. That's the part that always kills me because we always focus on that during the recruiting process as a fan base. But then we never look at how we develop them, 1. And 2, we ready to burn down, CBS offices every time a kid commit to us, and then it seemed like his ranking seemingly dropped. So which one is it, right? Because we know what we see, right? Hayes know what he see. Street, you know what you see. You've been doing this for a long time. We know what we see as fans. But then all of a sudden, when it's like, hey, Miami's in the running or Miami's in the position to lock this kid up, all of a sudden it's like, yeah, maybe he is a 3-star. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this the same system that we sitting here praising, but then we want them to boost a kid up when he goes to the All-Star game. It's like we got to pick a struggle.
And Mehdi, to your point, when it fits our narrative, we love the ranking system. When it doesn't, we hate the ranking system.
Yeah.
But I have to say this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when a kid comes on campus as a 5-star, we have to truly judge, is he a 5? Is to their ranking system, is this kid a first-round draft pick? That's what we have to look at. See, we look at the star and stop. We don't look at the star and then look at the footage and say based on his high school, which I still think that's a flawed system, but again, not mine. I can look at his high school tape and I can look at his camp stuff when he goes to those camps, because I guarantee 247 or anyone else is sitting down looking at full game footage of 10 high school games. They're not doing that. They're looking at high school tape. That's why I question, how do you rank a kid a 5-star who doesn't produce high school tape, i.e. Sam and Pimba? This is not a knock on the young man, but how is he a 5-star young man? He has an 8th grade tape out there. I'm just saying, so you're setting up for failure because you're looking at all of the tangibles, but what makes you an NFL number 1 pick is your intangibles.
Right.
You know how many
the same thing happened with Leventa Carswell.
Bro, you know how many people walking around here 6'5", 245, ripped up? You can go to any LA Fitness in the world. They look just like that. You can go to Venice Beach and go out there and you're a 5-star because the way you look.
A lot of them.
So I think that's I mean, to me, that is the ultimate flaw, is that when you really look at, like, for example, who do we have as a 5-star that didn't pan out?
Was Chickalo a 5-star?
He panned out. He's still in the league.
No, he retired.
No. Not from a 5-star standard. He didn't pan out.
Is he a first rounder?
Not from a 5-star standard. No, he didn't pan out.
Wasn't that receiver
Tracy Howard?
I think we got some worse. I think we got some better examples.
Mark Pope was a 5-star, right?
Was he?
Mm-hmm. Yes, he was.
Man. And that's like we have to be careful too. The term consensus 5-star means that ESPN, 247, Rivals, and now I guess On3 all rank you a 5-star. That's a consensus. That means across the board. Some people are 5 stars on ESPN 247, and then it don't work on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Brandon Harris.
That's what they go for, right? Am I right?
The chat finna give you every 5-star since 1863.
Twan just hit me up.
There it is. The chat done got going. They done caught up. There it is.
Yeah, Twan hit me and told me Chad Thomas.
Oh,
but what was the great? What was the what's everybody else's thing for a 5-star? We know 247 is projecting to the NFL. Are those other sites doing the same thing? That's the
And I was
thing.
just copy and paste if I'm being honest.
Was
Yeah, they
the DB a 5-star that left last year? The one who Nick Saban flied his helicopter into his.
Yeah, but
To
you
Oh,
want to know
Gervin
why?
Hall? No, Gervin was a 4. Gervin was a 4.
It was a 4-star, high, very high 4-star.
High 4.
Yeah, but the reason you know
Kyle,
that,
right?
for the reason you know that, is because the same dude that started 247 started Rivals and started On 3.
And On 3 means I'm on my third one.
I'm on my
This
third
man
one.
is killing it. This man is killing it, man.
So
This
here's
man
a
is
prime
killing it.
example.
Stash Terry. I follow him on Instagram.
Here's a perfect example. I'm looking at the 2020 class, and I'm looking at Justin Flo. If I look at Justin Flo's highlight tape, which I did, this year, this 2020 was when I first started, so I didn't do any of the 2020 class. When I look at Justin Flo's highlight tape in 2020, he is not a 5-star in my eyes. Most people look at his highlight tape and like, oh my God, he killing them, he tackling them. But there is no pass coverage on his film. He's blitz happy. And this is not a knock on him. That may just be what if I had Justin Flo, I'd be doing the same damn thing. I'm not worried about you going to the NFL. Let the college dudes get you prepared because I'm trying to win these games today. I'm just being very honest. But when you look at his tape, he doesn't have any pass coverage. He does, and we know linebackers today have to do that. So how can I say you're going to be a first-round draft pick when you don't show anything that is a pertinent element to becoming an NFL player on your footage? See, like, but people look at him making these spectacular tackles and these hard hits, and he's so strong looking, and he's this and he's that. Now, injuries happen. That's what kind of happened to him. But even when he wasn't injured, was he dynamic? Not necessarily.
So you didn't think Justin Flo what
Was a first round? He could have been a 5-star, but not a first round pick.
First round NFL pick. How big is he?
6'2", 225 coming out of high school at that time.
Ooh.
So by comparison,
he was a mega star, dog.
He was a mega star, but again, if we basing 5 stars off of being a mega star, then yes, he's definitely a 5-star. But if we're basing 5 stars being a first round draft pick, looking at through my lens, I don't know. The same thing I said about James Williams, and it's not enough. I asked one question about James Williams. And what was that, guys? Y'all remember? I only had one question that I did not see in his highlight tape, which was, what was it? Can he do what?
Cover people.
Can he play man? Because I know in this game, the safety's going to have to play man. I'll ask y'all as fans, did he do a 5-star? Did he do a day one? Listen, did he do a round 1 job in covering man since he's been at Miami the past 2 years? You can blame the coaches.
He flashes. Sometimes he does. Sometimes he struggles.
No, see that right there fits y'all narrative because y'all saying, well, he flashes, y'all easing the pain. It's yes or no. Did he do the round 1, day 1 stuff to be considered a number 1 draft pick? That's all I'm asking.
I don't think every 5-star is a day 1 bowler. I don't think some of our greats wasn't day 1 bowlers, Hayes.
I didn't say that. I'm asking based on the criteria that they set, which is 5-star means first round pick.
Projected. Eventually he'll get there somehow with muscle milk, push-ups. They feel he has it in him to get there. You know what I'm saying? Projected.
Okay, but then I'll go look at a kid like Malik Starks from Georgia. Starts as a true freshman, and he's showing everything that he showed in his high school tape is showing up in his college film. He's covering, he's tackling, he's blitzing, he's coming off the edge, he's playing one-on-one against the best receiver, then he go on the offensive side, play running back, and guess what? He goes to Georgia as a true freshman. Comes to Georgia as a true, he go to play running back, wide receiver, and he play quarterback.
See, you talking about you talking about the unique ones, the elite, the 1%.
Exactly, it's only 32 picks. How many kids play?
Even out of that 32, it'd only be 3 of them jokers that do that. Like 2 of them, 1 of them, 1 every 5 years. You're talking about Gamble from Ohio State and the dude who they just made.
That's my point.
Right.
That's my point. When you find those dudes, those are 5 stars, dog.
So you're saying it should be less of them. It should be a smaller amount, a more elite, a smaller amount.
I can't say less or more. If I don't care. If I see guys are doing all aspects of the game at a high level on their footage, I have to respect that, including strength of competition, and I have to take that in consideration. I hate to say that, but I have to take that. Do you know a lot of people think that, or they'll say Muhammad Ali is better than Mike Tyson just because of strength of schedule, because of who he fought, and Ken Norton and George Foreman and them versus some of the bums that Tyson had to fight? Like, I'm not knocking it, but when I look at cats and bro, I'm looking at a highlight tape. I got a list of kids. Bro, when I say the team is so bad that they playing against, I'm like, how? He's one of the top 25 dudes in this class. And his highlight tape is riddled. Matter of fact, Nicholas Harbor, I'll call his name. 19-minute highlight tape, bro.
You said it's riddled with what? What's up with it?
Timmy's, dog.
Pancake too, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I would not put that like, for me, I could not give him a 5-star. I could not say this is not saying he's not a good player. This is not saying he's not an NFL caliber player. Mm-hmm. But I can't project him from 17-year-old pancake honcho to 23-year-old or 22, 23-year-old first round draft pick based on what I'm looking at. But then I'll flip it to a Rueben Bain. This guy, I don't care if Rueben Bain went to Hawaii. I'll look at Rueben Bain and say, okay, I'm looking at all that he does, and he's doing it against dogs week in, week out. And I told you, I love Central. Plane, train, or automobile. They'll go play anybody, anywhere, anytime, and he still shows up and shows out.
Right. You know what, Hayes? I never, the fact that you say that, I've been looking at these kids for so long that I never held that against kids sometimes. Like, if I could actually get to see them in person, who they played against is not their fault. Sean Taylor, Gulliver High School. X stands across from him, doesn't even know who he is. You know what I'm saying? I still have an eye. Like, if I can get to see him play, I can see who Sean Taylor is, even if you're playing against Timmy.
Position
you know
based. That's true. Yeah. No, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you're correct. But based on the position, you notice I'm talking about trenches where it comes to strength, it comes to some technique, it comes to like those type of things. When you out on the perimeter at receiver, you make a move, you make a guy miss. I'm not holding you accountable because you juke him, you could juke anybody. But when I'm talking about more or less in the trenches is what I'm saying when it comes to these linemen.
So that's what you think about Pancake? You did a WRE on Pancake?
I surely did.
What? Oh, you did it already?
Bro, anytime you can drive a dude 25 yards down the field.
What?
Come on, dog.
Mind you, he said.
But what did you assess though? What did you see though?
He said that wrong. He meant block a person 25 yards. That means I engage and I continue to move you, and you can't do anything about it.
You continue in the back pedal as listen. I drove you
like a Disney movie.
Listen, I drove you from the line of scrimmage. I literally beat the man with the ball to the end zone with you. He beat the ball carrier to the end zone faster than the ball carrier could. Bro, what are we talking about?
If y'all sitting watching the video, man, hit the like button. Once we get to 70% likes, we'll open up the chat for everybody. We had to calm it down, man. Too many crazies in the chat. But what did you see, Hayes? I mean, it's not his fault that his mom and him put him in private school. What did you see, though?
And again, so this is not a knock on him. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is, how can I truly give you a projection when I haven't even seen you fight against anybody of stature? Even one game, if y'all go play one tough ass game.
Right.
I saw a guy that's strong, a guy that's technically sound, he's just missing that component. Right? I watch him. I'm looking at his technique. Right? Very much this Rueben Bain. There's some games they played where he could just run over a dude, but he uses his technique. Pancake Honcho uses his technique. He uses his technique but you can also see he doesn't have to work the counter move in his technique. So when he goes to put it in there and the guy slapped, can he replace? Because the guy that came and knocked his hand down, can he replace it with the kind of speed that's going to happen when he gets to the next level? See, those are the kind of things that he doesn't have to do it. He's so strong when the dude try to hit him, it's like the Three Stooges, where you running and the dude just hold your forehead and you still trying to swing at him. It's that kind of stuff, bro. It's asinine, bro. And so what you do is you put unwanted pressure, I think, on the individual, on the shorty. That's my opinion.
So I would say this: when you look at Pancake Honcho, he does have a little bit of technique, and I think his size is just 6'5", 305. And then when you look at him, he has that dancing bear look, very agile for a big man. I think those things are what they really take into consideration. 23-6 when they make those rankings, even though they say
23-6
these 32 guys are going to be 5 stars. I agree with you, Hayes. They shouldn't say that. They shouldn't say that because they're not looking at those real intangibles, like who are they playing against week in and week out. They don't look at that. I think they just look at the size, the speed. If they kind of look like the size projects to the NFL, and if they have the production to go behind it. So, like Pancake Honcho, if they play against a team that has that let's say they run 50 to 60 snaps on offense. If Pancake is in there for 50 to 60 snaps, he's probably going to have 30 pancakes. Every other player is going to be a pancake based on who he's playing. So they look at those type of stats and they're like, oh man, yep, he's going to be a first round draft pick. And they don't take into consideration the fact that when you're going up against a Rueben Bain in practice, or a guy who was Rueben Bain, but he's 2 years mature, you're really going to see how much work you have to do between your freshman year coming on the campus, in your junior, senior, maybe fifth year senior. As far as if you're really going to be a first round draft, and I don't think they take that into consideration enough.
So here's my issue, Rich. It's just simple stuff, bro. Pancake Honcho is ranked higher than Cedric Baxter. Cedric Baxter is the number one player at his position at running back. I'm looking at it. Right? Pancake Honcho is the number 3 based at his position. Pancake Honcho is from Massachusetts. Cedric Baxter is
from Orlando.
From Florida. The biggest conference.
Play Jones.
But not even that. The biggest conference you can play in, the highest level. Like, these are the things where numbers don't make sense to me.
Right.
You're the 5th best player. You're the fifth best player in the mecca of recruiting. He's the number 1 player in Massachusetts. Massachusetts might get 4 Division I players in the whole state per year. Matter of fact, I'm so glad they categorize the things the way they do. Let's pull up Massachusetts. Massachusetts. Oh my God.
Coach.
He's Miami, Georgia, Penn State, Notre Dame, Clemson, Notre Dame, Boston College, Virginia Tech, Boston College, Rutgers, Boston College, Syracuse, Harvard, Boston College, Boston College. They have 15 players from the state of Massachusetts. And out of those 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them going to Boston College. 2 more going to Notre Dame. And they're the 43rd best that they possess. I mean, these are the type of things that don't make, like, when numbers just don't add up to me. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I'm sorry, but go ahead.
For further context, Hayes, I was looking right when you was looking, so I pulled up Florida, right? And And they count IMG, so I mean we can't help that, but it is what it is, right? The top two obviously coming to the University of Miami, Alabama, Georgia, Texas, Alabama, Florida State, Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Georgia, UM, Georgia, LSU, Georgia, Oklahoma. And I'm down in the 20s.
And the lowest you get is UCF with John Walker. The rest of them, Miami, Georgia, Miami, Penn State, Florida State, Miami, Florida, Miami, Penn State, Texas A&M, Georgia. Come on, dog. We ain't even got no ACC presence. We the only one with ACC presence around here besides Florida State.
As it should be.
But this is the stuff I'm talking about that's so flawed. But when it fits our narrative, let's go. But when it doesn't, man, that stuff, they 23-6.
Well, I mean, sometimes you have to analyze it. You have to look at all of it because they've said, I can't remember if Ivan said it when he was on here, but they have said, like, with their ranking system, they can't, it's only 32 5-stars, and they can't give them all to Florida. So when you start thinking about that, you start thinking about how's a kid from Massachusetts, I understand it may be a different position, but we're just talking about talent. Who's the most talented? How does a kid from Massachusetts be ranked ahead of a kid from Florida with the competition is at the tip top? They just told you that. So they're being selective with how many stars 5 stars they're giving out to the state of Florida, or what kind of rankings you're giving out to the state of Florida. And that makes no sense at all.
But even with that, KB, I'm cool with that. But you're gonna tell me Pancake Huncho's still a 5-star. He just shouldn't be ranked higher than Cedric Baxter. That's all I'm saying. Like, he still can be a 5-star, but he shouldn't be ranked higher than Cedric Baxter, in my opinion.
No, he shouldn't. He shouldn't.
You know, when I look at that. Thank God we discovered Damian Wilson. He moved up in the ranks. Thanks, 247. Cut me a check.
So listen, if you just getting in here, man, once we get the lights back up to 70%, we'll open the chat. Damar, this thing is getting crazy, man. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on back here. If you just was under a rock or you just woke up, Damar Hamlin, Buffalo Bills DB, passed out on the football field. CPR was administered. He was rushed to the hospital, and they say he's in critical condition. The NFL game was postponed. The first time I ever seen that happen in my life. Crazy scene. This is the scene right here. If you're just getting here and you don't know why we're in here this late talking, 12 o'clock at night. Buffalo Bills number 3 right there, where he actually collapses after wasn't a huge hit. But wasn't we just talking about lowering your head? Wasn't we just talking about that? The offense being able to lower their head, Hayes, yesterday? We just talked about that. About
you
the offense being able
to pull up the Chavez picture. You can pull up. We talked about it in the interview. Yeah, you're 100% right.
Right. And Damar Hamlin, he stands up, he's fine, and then he collapses. And right away, everybody knew it was serious. Stephon Diggs, Jaquan Johnson, their reaction told the whole story. But check this. Damar Hamlin has a toy drive, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has a toy drive, and I think the toy drive, when the night started, the toy drive had a couple thousand. It's a GoFundMe, and it had a couple thousand. Damar Hamlin's toy drive in a few hours has hit $1.3 million. Now that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That is.
But whatever that compassion is when Gangsta Boo dies or when somebody passes out, whatever that compassion is, where in that moment you feel like Gangsta Boo, one of the greatest rappers in Tennessee, and you want to tell them then, like, dog, only if life was like, only if we were like that every day. You know what I'm saying? Only if we walked past everybody and we were able to say, good job, Mehdi, man. Thanks for fighting for my country. Shout out to Coach Hayes, man, for being the light-skinned dude in Orlando, taking all the fat chicks out the club. Only if
Appreciate that. Hey,
no.
I do it for
Only
you, baby.
if, bro. Only if 1.3 million his GoFundMe has raised as he's laying critical condition. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. At least we do have moments like this, because it could be the other way around, where it's never moments like this, and it's just the rich get richer and the poor. But that's wild, bro. I mean, y'all can expound on that for a second, man. I'm gonna run and get some water. All right.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate that it has to happen under these pretenses, but I'm glad it did. But yeah, it gets there's a multitude of athletes who have their own foundations and charitable foundations that they talk about it, they say stuff, but yeah, unless it seems like something like this hits close to home, people don't care. And yeah, Street's absolutely right. We do need to get better in 2023 and beyond at giving people their flowers while they're still here. One of the big influences in my life personally has been Nipsey Hussle, and looking at what it was. And mind you, I grew up in the 90s hip hop era. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. I grew up hating the West Coast, Tupac and everything he stood for. But when I realized when Nipsey Hussle became deeper than hip hop to me and what he was doing, and he helped me, his music helped me through a very difficult time in my life when I was in a combat deployment in a combat zone. And then he died while I was there. It kind of resonated with me, what type of spirit we lost. So yeah, far too often we get, and this is kind of what we start to show with, is like we get too focused on the player, right? This is the athlete. I don't know this, but
I don't know. You better take that off.
shout out to Kia. Anywho, when we get focused on simply looking at a person as the player, or you're the guy who phone keep getting blown up. No, I'm just kidding. You're the guy who played for my team, and I just look at you as that, and I don't look at you as a person. It makes it very easy for us to forget, and it sometimes seems like things like this have to happen for people to suddenly be like, oh, there is a person. Oh, yeah, he is out here giving kids, toys on toy drives and doing stuff like that.
Right.
I don't know if that toy drive was for Christmas, but we're a couple of days late. So
yeah. I think the biggest word here, guys, is the word empathy. Regardless of what goes on in your life, everybody has dealt with death. Somebody in your family has passed away. Since we all old enough to understand what death is, not necessarily when they're young, when we're babies, but whether it's friends, family, aunties, uncles, grandmothers, whatever. And when people pass away, everybody knows what that feeling is, regardless of your religious belief, political belief, whatever it is, death is death. And people understand that. Serious injury is understood as well, with potential death, right? If he would have went out there and broke his leg, it wouldn't even be as close. I guarantee that, right? But because this seems to where it is, it's so severe that they've actually literally stopped the game. That I've never seen them do that. I don't think anyone has ever seen them do that.
Yeah, he's in critical condition.
Right. So to that point, that people have empathy for what's going on, and how do we support people we don't know from afar? Monetarily, right? Right? You do that. I don't know somebody that passed away. What do? We donate to the foundation. We donate to a charitable fund. We donate because we know money can help things, move things along, and so forth and so on. So I think that's the biggest thing, is that regardless, I don't care if you're blue, black, purple, orange, green, or white, everybody knows what death is, and everybody knows what that means. And that's kind of where the truce comes along, where, all right, we can stop fighting for a minute. Let's deal with this. You know what I mean? And even with those players, when Streeter was showing it, when he tackled a dude and he fell back, as much as they may not like each other and they're in competition, immediately they knew something was wrong the way he fell out. And what did they start doing? Pointing. both teams, because we're in battle. But when he fell out, ain't nobody laugh at him like, ah, ha, ha. They knew something was wrong, bigger than just a regular, injury, or you got a cramp in your ankle. We laugh at that kind of stuff. Sucker, get up. You soft. But the way he fell and the way his body went, those players been around enough. They knew exactly what was going on. And you see it all the time. You see boxers, when the dude get knocked out, he trying to, hey, you all right? Like, we fighting, but hey, you good? You know what I'm saying? So that's just exactly how it is, man. But that's tough, man. Shout out to Sean Rounds out here for the 1999.
Isn't that amazing? Hey, somebody text Kia before she start blowing up. But isn't that amazing how the gladiators in the ring can have more empathy for each other than the people outside of the ring? Because it does take that sometimes for everybody else outside of the ring to understand that they are people. I think Mehdi has illuminated that a couple of times tonight. We look at them as things on TV. You know what I'm saying? Play things on TV or what have you. And until something tragic happens, we don't have any empathy for them. Anything that's going on in their life, we'll see a player get on TV and cry because depression is killing him. We'll see a player get on TV and cry, because something happened before the game. I forgot what player it was. This was I forgot what player it was and what team he played for. I think his dad had died like right before the game, and something happened and the people were messed up, and nobody, knew until after the game. And it was crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? We have to have something like that dramatic to actually feel bad for you. You know what I'm saying? Before your time of need or in your time of need. We'll talk trash about guys and not knowing what's going on with their mental, what's going on in their life. But these guys on the field, the other gladiators, have so much empathy for each other. They can see each other as human beings, way before fans do. And I'm just hoping that we get to a place where we kind of change that and we start understanding this thing is way bigger than rap. Like, that's just, football isn't who they are. It's just what they do.
Right.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, man. And part of these, I don't know if y'all guys been seeing some of the interviews I've been doing. I call them the person, player, and prospect. And that's not a shameless plug, but it fit right. It's perfect segue to what you just talked about, KB. I think a lot of times when we look at these players, this is truly a gladiator sport, right? Where he go out there back in Troy and all that gladiator with fighting a lion. You put your money on it. Those are objects. Those are products. And that's part of what I was pissed about with Skip. He talked about it as if this guy was a product on the field. You understand? Like, he's a product,
Right?
Not a person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happens. So I said that about the interviews to try and personalize football players. That is, dog, do you know how many football players you walk by every day and you don't even know they play ball? Because they're masked up. You don't see them. Dog, most outside of the trenches, the O lineman, D lineman, maybe a linebacker. Most of them do look like regular dudes. They look like regular people walking around.
Yep.
They in shape. But there's a lot of people walking around that's in shape. I mean, if you go look at, let's be honest, if you went to go look at, hell, Antonio Brown, he's like a regular dude walking down the street. You go look at T.Y. Hilton. You go look at even Julio Jones, or let's just say even Brandon Marshall. He's a bigger guy, but you wouldn't think football player. You may say may have played some ball, but not an NFL dude. Because when you think of them as massive guys, like huge people. And a lot of these dudes, dog, that guy's not that big. The guy that just got passed out of the Hamlin, right?
Yeah, Hamlin.
He's not a big guy. So there's no personal piece like basketball where you can look in their face. You can, they have these interviews, this, that, and the other. It's only 12, maybe 15 of them. They interview those guys. No, they only interview 3 people on the team: the head coach, the quarterback, and whoever else made the big play. That's it.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Just a quick update too. I was wondering, I saw something about 10 minutes ago that stated, I guess it's Bengals fans just kind of hanging out by the hospital. Saying he got put to sleep and he has a breathing tube down his throat. That was his issue. He was having a hard time breathing on his own. So he's still critical because he's not his organs are not working the way they're supposed to allow him to breathe on his own. I think I see commotio cordis is trending, so I don't know if it's commotio or commotio. So I think that's what a lot of people have kind of diagnosed him with. I don't know. We ain't all doctors, so we can't necessarily do that on this platform. But once again, keep him in your prayers. That's awesome what happened with him as far as getting these foundation to raise as much money. And another thing, man, for those, it's a lot of people, I guess, who are throwing shots. And you talked about this earlier, Hayes, you know, how T. Higgins might feel. Now, T. Higgins wasn't just making a play. He was getting tackled, you know what I'm saying, and going to the ground. Please don't get on Twitter and start, or any other social media platform, and start knocking T. Higgins and tagging him in posts. Like, it's something that was a rare incident that doesn't happen very often. Like, have the same thing we're talking about, some empathy and compassion both ways, because there was nothing malicious about it. You know what I'm saying? There was no anything egregious about what he was doing. He was just making a tackle. This rare circumstance happened. Unfortunately, it happened to him. Don't start tagging T. Higgins and other players and teams and all that because he got hurt. There's just no need for that. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. And I just
I
looked it
hope
up.
we don't have anybody.
Nah, you got some. No, there's some people do that stuff. I'm just sorry. The people do that. They're gonna hide behind the avatar. They'll set up a brand new account just to do that stupid. Like, them people need to be charged. But you look at. I was just talking about Hamlin, bro. He's 6 foot, 200 pounds. That's about the average American, ain't it? Like, I'm just saying, like, he ain't nothing special. He ain't Pancake Huncho. He ain't 6'5", 305. You know what I mean? Like, okay, who is this big dude? So if you walking down the street, then you're just another cat. But no. But to your point, man, you know, yeah, people can do some wild stuff, man, and you know, people just don't. You know, I don't understand how people get off like with that whole thing. Remember the Raiders and the New England Patriots, where the lady was all in the dude's face, and you know what I mean? Like, it's a football game, dog.
Y'all remember what Streeter said earlier, man. Because that thing you saying or whatever, like doing that in the chat. I had
that boy fell off. That boy in the portal.
Yeah.
Come back, KB.
StreamYard and the spaces are nice to him, man. Like, I just saw something else that just got me hot. Cold. Like,
talk to me.
Shannon Sharp got a tweet that he did a couple hours ago.
What did he say?
And it said, please keep Damar Hamlin and his family in your thoughts and prayers. NFL doesn't have a manual on how to proceed after an incident like this. And it got me thinking, why do you need a manual?
Just use your heart and common sense. Yeah.
That's it.
A person did something that you are not accustomed to, right? You've seen all kind of freak weird injuries, right? The NFL has never seen this, and I get it. The typical response based off of what happens, like, oh, he got hurt, cool, let's put the backup in and we can press. But you haven't seen anything like this. At some point, you gotta take the business side off, take your business hat off, put your human hat on, and realize, wait a second, this person is on the verge of death. Maybe we should stop the game. Like, you got, it's not a secret. You're watching players absolutely distraught, like freaking out, stress cobras, tears running down their face. And you mean to tell me we don't have a manual for how to deal with this? You didn't have a manual on how to deal with racism. Your response, just put end racism in the back of the end zone and on the back of people's helmets.
Are you right? That's, you know what, man, Maddie, like, bro, I don't know, man. I can say so much. This ain't my platform, so I be wanting, I be wanting to dive head first in the 2 feet side of the pool, man. on the 2-foot side of the pool. I'd be ready to die here first in this thing, man, and deal with the consequence later. But I just, some stuff, man, the problem is we don't hold anybody accountable for the things that they do, the things that they say. I'm telling you, I don't want to go back because I know he didn't want to do that. But I'm going to say this one last piece since he ain't on here. Do y'all know that LeBron James had to apologize for saying, I got that Jewish money, everything kosher? He put that on his Instagram post. I got that Jewish money, everything kosher. Here go the worst part. Not only that he apologized, guess who else apologized?
His team?
No. 21 Savage, the dude's song, the lyrics in which he was quoting.
And he had to apologize too?
He didn't have to, but he did. So I guess he had to. Like, these are the things that be teeing me off, bro. Like, what do we to do? It was actually a compliment.
It is a compliment. It's a straight up compliment.
I'm gonna look something up, and I'm gonna look up if this person ever had to apologize, because it's kind of synonymous with what's going on here, right?
I'm just saying, like, these are the things that. But I'm gonna go back to this. Here's another thing I want to say while you're looking that up, Manny. Here's another thing I think that happens, and I understand you can't tell a person how to grieve or what to do. But I think we as a people sometimes, when tragic things happen, we still continue to play. I remember there was a player, his baby just passed away, and he played the game that day. Their mother or their father they passed away that morning. They passed away at 8 o'clock that morning. They playing the game at 1 o'clock that afternoon. Now I know the organization may say, hey, you don't need to play this game. And you can't tell people how to grieve. They may want to play that game to keep their mind off of it. I get it, right? It's like people who go take a walk, clear your head. Your mind is free when you're in the game because you're not thinking about it. You're thinking about the plays or whatever.
Right.
But there is something too when tragedy strikes. And we look at business as usual, as Jay-Z say. It's business as usual. And you have to ask yourself, is it business as usual? I don't know. I just posted that. I just kind of said that while Mehdi was talking, but I did want to say that because I heard y'all when I went to go get McClain juice. I was listening to y'all talking, and he got off of it before I could bring up that. But that's the thing, dog. LeBron James got to apologize because he said my money. What he said, my money Jewish is kosher. Everything is kosher.
Now let me ask you something, Coach. Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
And I want to be careful how I say this because I ain't trying to get street demonetized. I don't know how that Twitter thing or YouTube thing works. So
don't say the R word. Don't say the R word. Can't say that. But go ahead.
Okay, I ain't saying that. Okay.
All right, I got you.
I'm gonna read 3 tweets from a person. You might have seen them this evening. Tell me if you can guess who the person is, and then tell me if you can guess if the person apologized. The first one says, "These monkeys just going to town." The second one says, "Bulls better guard our white boy." And the third one says, "It makes me happy that the NBA is finding people for being female genitalia." Later on, this person said, "Stuart Scott and that lazy eye, man."
They all the same person? They all the same person?
Mm-hmm. Another tweet says, "The Wisconsin white boys." And the last one, in all caps, said, "Attention all NBA teams, stop picking foreigners." Who was the person that said those tweets?
I'll say Charles Barkley.
No, try again.
Skip Bayless?
No, he was
a black dude. It's a black dude that said
I'll give you a clue. He was on one of them sidelines of the team that this tragedy happened on.
Not Stephen A. No, he ain't out there.
No, he's on the sideline.
He was on the sideline. You a coach or you a player?
You're a player.
Josh Allen?
No.
Nah, he too young for all that. Talking about Stuart Scott. Josh Allen probably was in 3rd grade.
Yeah, that's true.
He was on the side.
Ken Dorsey?
Nope. Ken Dorsey in the box. He in the booth.
Ken Dorsey ain't gonna talk like that no way. I don't think I seen. I
He
don't think I seen.
didn't hear it. Someone figured it out.
Who is it? Joe Burrow. What Joe Burrow know about Stuart Scott though?
Oh boy.
I'm waiting for maybe someone in the comments can help me out when he came out with his formal apology. Because I don't recall it.
He got to do that. Oh, and by the way, he got his contract already, right?
Mm-hmm. Mind you,
everybody got their contract except Lamar Jackson.
This is pre-LSU 2019. This might be pre-Ohio State. Joe Burrow.
Yeah, but these are the things like even to go back, even with your boy Jerry Jones. Regardless of whatever, he still did, whether he was there to sell Girl Scout cookies or he just happened upon it, or he was there for whatever intent.
Did you hear the story?
No, but he still never. Yeah, he talking about his head coach said don't go over there and all that stuff or whatever.
And he still went anyway.
Right, but regardless, he still doesn't even say. He still never say. You know what? That was a bad event that happened in this era of time. Like there's nothing. You understand what I'm saying? There is no accountability.
No remorse.
But there's no accountability to the things, bro. And that's what bothers me the most. It's like, that's the stuff that bothers me the most, bro. Who said he did apologize? I would love to see it. Please put the link in the description. Put the link in the chat. See, there's a difference between saying I'm sorry. Like, if Street came on here and be like, hey, man, y'all talking about this? I told you we was done. Man, my bad, Street. That's not an apology, dog. Man, I'm sorry, Street. My bad. Or you know what, Street, man, you know what? You asked us not to do this. I took it too far. I apologize, my brother, man. That's an apology. But just to blow it up, man, my bad, Street.
There's no sincerity.
Can I tell y'all something real quick off the topic? You know what I feel like? I feel like my college days right now. I'm going to go back and tell y'all something. I'm on the cane juice just a little bit. I feel like we in the homie car. It's his car. He be like, I'll be right back. He going to the chick house, and we sitting in the car waiting on him because we ain't got no way home. And we waiting for him to finish doing what he got to do. You know what I'm saying? And then he finished. It's been about an hour, and we like, he be like, y'all straight? We be like, no, we ain't straight. Because you done seen the lady call on the screen. We seen her. Like, Smitty, you can't tell me you don't feel like that back in the day, dog. Everybody done had that story, dog. Where you riding with a dude, and he be like, I'll be right. Hey, I got to make one quick stop. All right, no problem. It'd be an hour, dog. And you sitting in the car. He done went in an apartment complex. So you don't know what actually apartment he went to. So you got to just sit in the car and be like, bro, what is dude at? That's how I feel right now. But anyway, go ahead.
That's a fantastic analogy.
That's how I feel right now. I just feel that way. But anyway.
Yeah. But no, I saw a lot more of what Kyle said, of them just saying he was quote unquote just a kid at the time. Then I saw any apology, but
Mr. Will said he did apologize. I got a computer. I don't need you to send it to me. Did Jerry apologize? He apologized for the offensive term when he referred to little people. He apologized for that.
That was offensive.
Hold up. Daryl. Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones apologizes for height-related slur. Because you probably called somebody the M word. That's the first thing came up. I'm not here to pick sides about issues and maybe what's a little more important than other, but when I said, this is all I typed in my Google, did Jerry Jones apologize? And the first thing comes up under Jerry Jones apologizing is Jerry Jones apologized for offensive turn. There you go. He finished. I told you he was going to come right back. Watch what he say. Go ahead. Go ahead, Street. What you going to say?
What I'm going to say about what?
Whatever. You just coming back. So what's up?
I got a team and dudes in here that can hold it down. Boy, they don't need me in here.
So what are you going to say? What you going to say first? What's the first thing you going to say?
First thing you'll do is this.
No, hold on, Matty. What's the first thing you going to say? What's the first thing you gonna say? Y'all boys straight? No, we ain't straight. We've been here an hour.
No, my squad straight, dog. My squad straight. They don't need me.
Hey, Street. Street.
Hey, both of us out of here, and they got it.
Hey, Street. So now you may have missed it. So I was saying we was on here.
I heard Twan call and told me.
Oh, nah, that's good. I was just saying that I feel like.
He called and told me. Tell me. Let me hear it. Say it again. Let me hear it. Say it again.
Nah, I was saying like, dang, dog. You know what I feel like? I remember this happened to me in college. You ride with a dude, got a car. He be like, hey, I'll be right back. I gotta pull over. I gotta go in here right quick. All right, no problem. He going to the apartment complex. He come out an hour later. He done did his thug thizzle, and we sit in the car. He come back. Hey, boy, y'all boys straight? No, we ain't straight.
You know what, dog? But in that situation, us in high school, we would have been straight. We had that understanding. We had old crazy sayings, man.
Yeah, but you ain't give us no saying. If you would have been like, hey, boy, I gotta go make a Street. If you would have said, hey, boy, I'm finna go make a grilled cheese sandwich right quick. I got you. I get it. You were like, I gotta get some water. I'll be right back. Some water. You must have been in Lake Erie, dog.
Listen, dog.
You got some water, all right.
You dolo, dog. I got a whole team of dudes that roll with me, bro. Like, I could have not came back. You know what I'm saying? I could have not came back. Them boys
we lost KB. We lost KB. We couldn't get him back in, dog.
You're gonna lose KB. You're gonna lose KB, dog. You're gonna lose KB. You're gonna lose KB 3 times a night. I don't know what he got over there. Dial up. I don't know what KB got over there. But we're gonna lose KB 3 times a night.
Stream, y'all don't like me, bro.
Hey, the reason I know he back, I didn't even know he was back because Mr. Will's been up there for about an hour. Lorenzo Lingard.
Lingard was a 5-star, bro.
Mm-hmm. Now let me say this to cap off what we was just talking about. Everything that we were talking about. We had a Discord the other day. Maddie and Rich, y'all missed it. It was right after our powwow. We had a little Discord, and I was asking the business questions. And what I got most out of it is exactly what we were speaking on. People were talking about how when they're able to come to this platform, as far as the recruits and all these guys that come for interviews, the best thing about this platform is we definitely want to humanize everybody that comes on. You know what I mean? We want to let you get your stuff off. You know what I mean? We want to let you be able to defend yourself if you need to be. But we want to talk to you, see this person behind the mask. So when something happens to you, like the same way those kids up in what happened up there, the shooting in Virginia, it hit home because these kids are from home. One of the kids were from home. And when something happens with a Sam Bruce or whatever, you know what I'm saying? We actually feel that as opposed to being able to say, oh man, how they gonna cancel a game this late in the season? We ain't starting that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's one thing that separates Football Bills platform from a lot of different media. And I'm sure Coach Hayes, I'm sure your show would do the same thing. You know what I mean? And we don't have to sit back and just be things on the television, things on the computer. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's here to come and be a person. Like your name is Josh Allen. We not bring you in on, hey, this is Buffalo Bills starting quarterback. No, bro, you got a name. So those are the type of things that, I have to try to break that down the street sometimes. Those are the things that people appreciate about Football Bills. And I know he does it intentionally because it's just a natural thing for him to do. But those are the things that we appreciate about this platform, and we hope to see other platforms do the same thing. We probably won't get it because, like Coach said, it's business as usual, but these are things that we strive for.
That boy Jerry Jones say, this the headline right here. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones refuses to apologize after 1957 segregation photograph. Puts him in an uncomfortable but not unfamiliar position. He said, I refuse to apologize. Well, guess what? We tried that too, Kevin Hart. I'm sorry.
That's crazy. All I can say about Joe Burrow apology is that it says he apologized after the Super Bowl loss. That's like the first 15 links. It's just articles of him apologizing about his disappointing end to the season. But I don't see nothing about what he said as a kid.
I think he said something about it somewhere, but it was kind of just like a little quick brush. If I can remember, because I remember when it happened, we talked about it, we had a discussion about it. And I think it was something quick, but you know how they do. It's just one of those, I was 17 at the time, whatever.
How long you was talking about the Discord and what happened the other night? KB, you just started talking about it?
He been off the whole time.
Huh?
Yeah, I was
been off the whole time.
No, I just brought that up to finish out what we were talking about, because we were talking about players just kind of just being things on the TV.
Right.
Hey, Street, please put up Lewis Johnson tweet, man. I mean, his comment, dog. Please do. Oh, God, that's hilarious.
That last night, KB, was interesting, bro. I mean, I was flattered, dog. I was flattered, dog, to hear what them dudes had to say. Because all we had to do was activate them and be like, "Hey, Lewis Johnson said, here goes some baby wipe, Street, baby wipe, boy. Baby wipe, boy. I need brawny paper towels, boy, wet." Maybe like for her, but no, dog. That last night, to hear them explain why they like what they like about Footballville and the value of it, and one after one come up there and say what they like. That was flattering, and it was.
Enlighten us, Street. I'm lost. Enlighten us. I missed all that. Talk to me, man. I want to be a part.
It's the new year, so we getting things together to do things to make a lot more things happen in 2023. And KB had like a what is it called, like a round table? What would you call it, KB? Like a powwow?
Yeah, somebody called it a focus group, so I stick with that.
Focus group, okay.
A focus, and basically asked them a couple of questions, like taking a survey. Hey man, what is it y'all like about Footballville? Like, why do y'all come here? Why do y'all choose? And they just was explaining, and they told stories, man. Listen, for 20 years, I done tried everybody platform, and I get more value out of this, and I like the way you follow the kid, and I was flattered, bro, and it was very informing. It was informing, and I appreciate all those dudes that was in all those football villains that was in there that was talking, and just trying to pinpoint the business and where do we stand in the media. Because when I first started this, when I used to be sitting in a room with Gary Furman and them, and I knew I was doing something different, but I didn't know why I was there. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know my position in the whole thing. So Hayes, we have these conversations all the time, trying to bring it full circle so we get the value out of what we're presenting. Because we're realizing that we're the house in the hood that cook the meals and give you way more food than Chili's a lot of times. But yeah, the meal's still $7 a plate, and grandma in there you know what I'm saying?
Come on, talk to him.
So we got to get so just trying to get the value out of it and take Footballville, Caneville to another level this year. It was good, bro.
It was very good.
That was on your Discord?
Yeah, we did it like in the Discord with the Footballvilles in a little cave.
Well, good, man.
Yeah, that was, and Cal put it together. I just sat there and listened. I think them dudes were saying it because I was in there, man. I wish I wasn't in there. I wish I wasn't in there, man. I think they were just saying it because I was in there. But man, I gave my girl one of the earphones. I was like, babe, listen to this. This is who you lay to at now. You better respect me.
And that's just where you came. Hey, it better be where you came from, cause put it out there. She was calling. Her number was popping up. So now you got to change her number, dog.
Yeah, dog. Now what the hell? Listen to this. she want to kiss me and stuff. Now, oh, baby, you created something. It took a second to tell you I created something. Oh, you've been right here with me from day one.
Oh man, hey, I appreciate all the fellas, man. I appreciate them for stepping up like that. See, Big Q was in there, yeah. A lot of these cats was in there, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all gave me what I wanted out of that, but y'all also gave Streeter something he needed to hear, so he can understand the direction he need to go in, or the lane I should say he need to stay in. So, man, big shout out to to the whole squad, man. Appreciate you guys.
Nah, man, I'll be honest with you, bro. You see, like, Hayes, you was talking about Mr. Beast hired a CEO to run his channel now, and at one point in time, the guy who started Apple had to step down and let somebody else run Apple, because sometimes you get to a point where you're creating groundbreaking, creating, and you get to a point where it's like you at the mountaintop when it comes to ideas and thoughts, and sometimes you need to hear from the people, you know what I'm saying, that actually support what you're doing, to kind of bring you down to understand, like, oh, okay, the mission is this, because you've been running for so long, and you look up and be like, oh, well, I don't ran too. Like, you start looking around, I don't ran in the middle of the woods. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Bro,
where do I go from here?
Street, you know what's funny? Come April, dog, this will be 3 years, dog.
It seems like it was just yesterday. I was saying, hey,
bro,
listen, hit the button. No, man, go to your back room. It seemed like that was just yesterday, right?
It seemed like just yesterday when I was talking to Coach Will about Cormani, about Kamari Wilson, that's at Florida, right? And I'm like, dog, April will be 3 years, bro. Like, that's flying, man. But I want to ask you a question, Street, since y'all on this. I don't know if the word regret is the right word, or maybe you can substitute regret or something you wish you could have. What's the one thing you wish you could do, have, or maybe a regret in this channel that you've had so far?
One thing, say it again.
I don't know how to really ask it. Like, is there one thing that you wish you could do, wish you could have, or a regret since you started this channel?
I regret not.
It could be one or the other. It don't have to be a regret. It don't have to be one of those three. It could be anyone.
Money to actually just take every video and boost it. Like YouTube say, you want to boost this video? Take every video and promote. Every time I put a video out, I could put $500 to it and push it out there, and y'all wouldn't even know me by now, because I'd be with Jeff Bezos somewhere laying in coke. You know what I'm saying? Money. I wish I had money to market everything I created, and not just hoping you to take it and pick it up and run with it. You know what I'm saying? Because I realize that's what it is.
Hey, one time for the mods, man. Hey, mods, get Jacob up out of here, man.
Hey,
go and send his ass to the gulag.
You know what mine is? I know it's gonna sound corny, but you know what mine is? I wish I could see the subscribers and followers.
See them?
Yeah, like I wish I could put a face to a name. Like, it'd be so good. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. The reason I say that, there are, I got some characters on my channel like Miss Wilcox, Google Man, Kevin that calls in. I've never seen any of their faces. I know who they are. I know their voices. They've been with me for years. We've never met, but I wish that, like, when I go down to the games, and they be like, Coach Hayes, what's up? This is matter of fact, like Cincy Kane. Oh, what's up, man? I recognize the YouTube handles, but there's no face, or the avatars be so small you can't really see. But it's good to see, or like Kappa Kane. I saw Kappa Kane at the last thing. You know what I mean? I think I would enjoy, that's the part that there is some personal shit here where you talk to people, but it's almost like a pen pal where you talk to people all the time, but you never met them. You know what I mean? Like, y'all always talk about the hurricane, but you never met each other, right? Like Warren, Warren is a dude that he left me a voicemail on that doggone Google Voice thing a long time ago. When I say it was one of the most motivational things I ever heard. I saved it, bro. I saved it and I put it on a USB drive because I don't know what's happening in the future. And I thank him for it all the time.
What was it about?
Just doing the show, who I was, kind of like what you just talked about, how important you were to, this culture, to the kids, what you do. He like, not to give a lot of it away out here publicly, but he just basically said, you're going to be all right. Keep doing what you're doing. Somebody's going to notice. That's in a ball.
Uh-huh.
And I've never seen this dude's face. He could knock on my door and sell me solar panels tomorrow, and I wouldn't even know that was him. Right. Like, that's the part dog, I was when I called you, I said, hey, I'm going to Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't answer, but I went to Twin Peaks. A dude like, Coach Hayes, what's up, man? You'll take a picture with my son? That's not really the issue, like that part, but the more of like people appreciate what you do. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they find value in what you do. And so it's good to know that people find value. I would love to know who these people are. I guess is the right way to say it. Like at least put a face with a name,
I get it. Does it ever confuse you sometimes? Like I'm walking through Funk Fest with me and my lady, and a dude could be with his wife, and sometimes they see you, and they be excited to see you, and it's confusing, dog. It is confusing, but it's flattering. You know what I'm saying? But it's confusing because it's like I don't know who you can't tell who they see you as. KB try to tell me this all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like Twan used to always be like, dog, you just don't understand. Like you can't tell, like you can't see how people see you. All I know is I have the courage to come over here and talk about things that I know. You know what I'm saying? I took a lot of my time, put a lot of hours in to something that people probably thought was minute. But you know what I'm saying? But it turned into exactly what I thought it would turn into. Hey, I'm going to stand here and I'm going to watch for the next Frank Gore. And I knew he was coming 10 times over. You know what I'm saying? But they see you and they be like, football, and they get happy. It's almost like you bring them joy. Dog, yeah. And yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you a story. Me and V12. You know V12, right?
Yeah. What up? It's me. Hold on. Put my headphones back in. Go ahead. Tell it. You got it.
So me and V12, we down in Fort Lauderdale. Some function, whatever he's going to. I'm down there with my dog. V12 from the yard. Y'all may not know he from the yard, but so we down there some soca thing, man. That ain't my gig, but I'm with the homies. I'm chilling. A dude walks up to the bar. I think I'll tell y'all this story. I'm standing at the bar. He's standing there, his brother and everything else. And this guy walks up to me and he looks at me. So I kind of moved back a little bit, thinking he want to go to the bar so he could kind of slide in. It's crowded. So the dude kind of whispers. He says, hey, I don't normally do this, but, and he paused. But he said it just like this. Hey, man. He said just like this. Hey, man, I don't normally do this, but, and he paused. So I'm looking at him. So my dog 12 hear this, and he kind of looked at me. I looked at him. So I'm like, well, nigga, what you want to do? Like, I'm thinking it's finna go down. He was like, Coach, I watch your show all the time. I just want to get a picture. I'm like, I say, man, dog. Like, but it was such a long pause when he said it. And he said it real like, hey, coach. He didn't say coach. If he would have said coach, I would have caught it. But he said, hey, man, I don't normally do this.
Hey,
so I'm like, oh.
You got to let that bunch part go. You got to let that bunch part go, bro.
KB, if a dude walk up to you quietly and say, hey, I don't normally do this, first thing you think, you trying to holler at you. That's the first thing you thinking. I don't care what you say what you want to say. So the dude said, hey, watch this. Hey, I don't normally do this, but and I'm looking at him, and it's a long pause. If he would have said Coach, or if he would have said Hayes, if he would have said something I would have caught where he knew me from, you know what I mean? Bro, I paused, I looked at 12, overheard it. And the other dude we with, I leave him alone, but he know what time it was. He heard it. So I'm like, well, nigga, what you want to do? He like, I just want to take a picture, man. My wife got the camera. You know what I mean? Do you mind taking a picture? I'm like, man, come on, man. I tried to buy the man a drink and everything. But that throw you off. Like, you know, you be at home, dog, and I'm here in Orlando. I'm at Home Depot. You walking down the thing. I got on flip-flops. I'm trying to go fix some crap in my air conditioning in the house. Coach Hayes. No, he said, hey, man, I know you. I'm like, damn. Coach Hayes, right? I'm like, oh, yeah, what's up, boy? But it throw you off the way people, you know, because, you know, Coach be making bad decisions out here in the streets too now. So, you know, you gotta understand that. You know what I mean? But it's just funny, man. Like, it is flattering to your point, Street. You know what I mean? And when you go to places like Funk Fest and where there's a lot of people, you're gonna catch somebody that see you, know you, or whatever. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool.
Listen, man. Let me tell both of y'all something. One thing y'all gotta understand. We are so accustomed to seeing people glamorize. We glamorize celebs and entertainers and things like that all the time. I think sometimes you have to also you really got to understand people at their purest nature. They appreciate value. You know what I'm saying? More than anything, that's what y'all bring to people. Y'all bring some kind of value. So when they say they want to take a picture, this and that, they just want to show their appreciation because you bring something to them in their everyday lives. Like we had a dude in the Discord say, man, he got onto this. Like the same, like for me, I didn't know this whole community thing was out here. Like Coach Hayes, when you just said it's been 3 years, I was like, dang, I ain't know Coach been on for 3 years. I thought it may have been like maybe 1.5. Because that's, you know, I'm kind of just learning Coach Hayes and football all at the same time, to be honest with you, right? But this dude was saying he was laid up for 3 months, accident, whatever. And he said this was his fix every day. He was watching whoever, Miami Flow, Caneville, hey, he was watching everybody. And that's what got him through his rehab. Now, once he started getting able and he didn't have to sit around all day, you know what I'm saying? Of course, it narrowed it down because he couldn't watch as many people. So, of course, he said, you know, well, Footballville is always stuck. You know what I'm saying? He's stuck with Footballville. And he did mention your name, Coach. He said he stuck Coach Hayes, whatever. Y'all brought value to people's lives, maybe in a way that you didn't think about. But humans at their purest, we are very appreciative people. No matter what it be. If Medi brought me a cup of sugar because he heard me out there fussing with my old lady because her dumb ass forgot to bring home sugar from the grocery store. And Medi overheard it and came and said, hey, bro, I got some sugar. I may just dap him up and walk off, but that meant a lot to me. So when y'all bringing people something and they can hear these conversations, y'all might be helping them get through rehab. Y'all may be helping them get through a hard day. And it might not even just be that deep. But it's the value that people find in what they're doing, and that's how they showing their appreciation. So y'all may be flattered by it, but they just saying thank you in their own way.
Like it's amazing, KB. I'm gonna tell you something because Street could definitely say this. Street, when we was eating, what did I say about KB?
What you say about KB?
Come on, dog. You don't remember? I said
you said something though. I can't remember what you said. You said something about all of them.
No, but remember I said, what did he have on at the thing?
Oh, man, so you work for the CIA.
I said, this man must be an FBI agent, dog. Because to me right now, when I think KB, I think Eddie Murphy. I think Eddie Murphy, that's all I see.
He was right there, both of them. I was like, he was right there, both of them. He was like, man, I ain't seen him in a time.
He talked to me all night. He know who I was.
Hold on. Hold on. So Medi was DJing.
Right there at the bar.
I know Medi was DJing, but there was a gentleman that had on like a pink or a coral like color. And I said, was that KB? He was like, nah. But again, if I'd never seen your face, I don't know what to look for.
And you know what's crazy? He was literally sitting right next to me by the DJ booth for most of the night.
Was he?
Yeah, to my immediate left. Like he was sitting right there. Like
This dude like, where's Waldo, dog? Like this cat KB, KB is like the dude from Home Improvement where you see the fence where you just see half his face.
Tim. Was it Tim?
No, Tim was the main dude. What was the guy?
No, Wilson.
Wilson. Yeah, Wilson. But I'm just saying, like those are the things where I'll never forget. What's the Haitian cat name, man, that took the picture while I was dancing? I see him all the time on Twitter.
Oh, Taz Kane.
Taz Kane. Yeah, he got a picture of us dancing. I cherish those moments, man. And I have to say this, being honest. Like when I was coaching, you'd be in a Walmart here and there, and somebody be like, Coach Hayes. But because they said Coach Hayes, I know they knew me from sidelines. It may be somebody, mama, uncle, cousins. They recognize you from the game. I don't know them. Hey, what's going on, y'all? You know, you wave and keep on rolling. But this is a little more personal because people call in. You talk to people. You know, you hear, you like people talk about family members that pass away. Like you do, it's like coaching, right? But it's different. It's a little different, man. And, you know, to me, it's cool, but I can see where if you got like, you know, I'm talking about true celebrity status where it can get overwhelming, where everybody just da all day, right? But, you know, like you don't Kevin Hart and them kind of, but like I said, you go out, man, you go to places, they be like, bro, I'm in Columbus, Ohio. I'm at a personal event. And dude's like, man, I know you, man. I like, well, I'm not. He said, where you from? I said, Miami. I said, no, it ain't that. He went away, he came back. He said, you the dude be breaking down the tapes for Ohio State. Like that. I said, yeah, I did a couple of them, you know, here and there. He said, nah, dog. I done seen your stuff. Now, this dude worked for, you know, the guy that owns Victoria's Wexler, Victoria's Secret, all that Wexler guy who owns all that kind of stuff. But anyhow, it's just funny, dog. You all the way in Ohio and a dude recognize, like that girl, this the guy's on the truth. There was a girl in the airport. I kind of turned it into something, but there was a girl in the airport. She said, you be doing Ohio State stuff because I was in the airport. She said, my daddy watch it all the time. So I was like, yeah. So I did have my shirt on. I had a Coach Hayes football shirt on. So I'm the one made her go up there and say the JTT tape. She was like, I said, you want to make a film while we wait on the plane? She said, yeah. She said, if you don't do JTT, then you got to get up out of here, Coach Hayes. She was actually from Miami. We was going back to Orlando. But I'm just saying, like, it's interesting how, you know, people recognize you from all different walks of life, man. It's pretty cool, man. I have to say, it makes you feel good for the amount of effort you put in for the lack of shit you get back. I had to tell you that way. Put it that way.
Shout out to Sean Round with 1999. You right, man. It's 1:00 in the morning, y'all. Wait, listen, I got an update before we get out of here, bro. I got an update for y'all.
Damn, KB, you look just like Eddie Murphy.
Just like him, huh?
I thought you was employee of the month at McDowell's.
That boy said KB FBI.
I went to now, Hayes, you remember y'all was in the corner talking. It was you, it's John Michaels and somebody else, and I came over there and interrupted because I wanted to say something to John Michaels. I was just telling, bro, you know, you stay getting hype, bro. Anytime you on, you know, I'm gonna check out anything you do, whatever. Coach say, man, you came over here to interrupt us, whatever.
I said
it's
that.
just funny like that. Yeah. It was Coach. It was all jokes and we was having fun, man. Y'all was in conversation. Then from that, me and you was just sitting by the bar, just, you know, rapping back and forth. But it's like I say, it's like that when people come through and they see people that add some value to them, they want to speak, say what's up and all that good stuff, man. Y'all do a good thing, man. Y'all just keep it on up.
So who's the dude that had on like the pink and like it wasn't pink, it was like a short set. Cause as soon as y'all said something, they're like, go ahead. Like they said something, they knew I was finna disagree with it. I don't remember who that dude was, man. But he was sitting, so Mehdi, you was DJing, and he was sitting kind of, if you were looking straight from the DJ, but he was sitting to the left. And actually, me and Kia was sitting back there in the back because y'all was just started the live stream.
You must be talking about Jermaine.
That sounds familiar, Jermaine.
Jermaine, he didn't want to be in the spaces.
Yeah, somebody with him, right?
Yeah, he kind of stuttered a little bit.
Oh, I didn't even know Jermaine was there.
Yeah,
Jermaine was there. Yeah, Jermaine came with. He was there with the basketball player with
Yes.
Oh yeah,
The
with
okay,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So listen, man. Here's an update right here.
I already did this street.
Really?
Are you in the back,
Yeah.
man? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, run that. See, that's what I'm saying, man. Y'all hold it down. Well, all right, man. Let's get on up out of here, man. Unless y'all want to stay here.
No, I got it.
I mean, but before we get out of here, can we close out, man? I mean, what are we looking at, man? Like,
cancel Skip Bayless. Oh, I'm sorry.
Nah. We ain't gonna make it about Skip. I'm talking about Damar Hamlin, man. Like, what are we looking at, dog? They saying they putting tubes down his throat. Like, what? We wake up in the morning, man. Is this gonna end well?
Right now it's looking positive. Like it says, his vitals are back normal. This guy, Jordan Rooney, is his. I went to his Twitter. That's his. I think it's like his publicist and one of his friends. They put him to sleep so he could rest. Probably using some type of medicine, and then the tube down his throat to assist his breathing. It's probably hooked to a machine that regulates his breathing. Just letting him rest, seeing how he is in the morning. Hopefully, he doesn't have any complications while he's asleep. But Lord forbid something does happen. If he does go, knock on wood, hopefully not. You know what I'm saying? He'll go peacefully. But right now his vitals are back normal is a good sign. That's what you want to hear. It's just getting his like I said, when you've been out for 10 minutes, whether you realize or not, organs and things that's supposed to normally work start shutting down because it's pronouncing the body dead. It's as if the body. So when the heart ain't pumping oxygen and air to and blood to us anymore, we don't got to work anymore. So it just stops. So that was a huge deal. But now it's, like I said, trying to get everything back up. His vitals are back to normal. That's a good sign. I'm assuming he's still in critical. And I guess we just wait and see what happens in the morning. Hopefully it's good news.
He says Cherry is up to 2.4 million. That's another million since I reported it. That's what's up, man. It's like life just keeps giving and giving and giving. Every time you think you saw everything, something else happens, bro. So prayers up to him. KB, you want to say something, bro?
Nah, I was gonna say this is why they made Chris Bosh stop playing. Like we don't know what happened, but this is the type of thing that you would have saw from Chris Bosh and why they didn't want him to keep playing. You know what I mean? Things like that. So that's why I say it's probably something, some underlying issues off the field, nothing to do with the hit or with football. You know what I mean? So, but let's just keep our prayers up, man.
All right, man. Let's get up out of here, bro, man. I appreciate all y'all, man. Hayes, I hit you tomorrow. All right. I
got one more thing, Street, before I get up out of here too.
It's on you. Bam. Look at that.
This is an excellent opportunity, man. It's January 3rd now, at least where I'm at. It's an excellent opportunity, man, to kind of, once again, I don't know if y'all believe in resolutions. I ain't telling y'all to make no resolution. I'm telling you it's an opportunity to kind of look at where you are in life. You know what I'm saying? You hear Kyle talk about stuff like people providing value. When you hear our little discussions, I feel like everybody provides value. So it's an opportunity to kind of look beyond yourself. What do you bring to the table every day? What are you providing with value, right? It took this tragedy for this man to raise $2.4 million to raise toys for a bunch of kids. Football isn't his value. It's just like how Kyle said, it's just what he does. So this is an excellent opportunity to kind of have some self-reflection time and look at what's going on in your life and what value you bring. And if you aren't bringing value, how you can start doing it, because this is a huge deal, man. This life, the biggest gift in life is not what you can get, it's who you can inspire. And so if you keep that at the front of your thoughts, you know what I'm saying, everything will work out. And with that being said, I'm out.
And that being said, that was good enough, bro. That is an exit. Listen, bro. Yep. Don't put off tomorrow what you could do today. The rest of your life could be seconds away. Maybe appreciate that, big dog. We out of here.
Yes, sir.
Peace.